What up, Fanimals? What's going on? Oh, boom. Bada boom, bada bang. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Oh my God. I pressed the wrong button on my screen. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing, everybody? How you guys doing? How are you? How is everybody doing today? Have you had a good day? Have you all behaved? You all behaving young men and women here, huh? How's everybody doing? We got a new member here, Joe Cassie 330. How you doing, Joe Cassie 330? Am I saying your name right? Joe Cassie. What is Joe Cassie? Doc Bones, what's up? I see you, Doc the Bombers. You bombing shit up. Where's I'm looking for that new member, the new person here. Joe Cassie. JOCASSESE 330. Right, thank you. That's what I thought. How you doing, Joe Cassie? Nice to see you here. Welcome to the live stream. All right. Who else is here? Wild Dog, what's up, Wild Dog? How you doing, bro? Brian P. Nodes, how are you? Sean B, my mod. How you doing, Sean B? My one and only mod. Top chat. Let me turn on. I'm gonna turn on live chat, not top chat. Home DJB. What's up, Home JB? That's a weird name. Angel Eyes. How you doing? Hello, Newman. Hello, Manimal. Oh man. Ray, what's going on, Ray? How you doing? Hello, Newman. Hello there. Hello there. Hello? 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 Oh my God. What a long day. Today's such a long day. The days are so long, guys. Oh my God. Working all day long from 9 o'clock in the morning. Not leaving your house at 8. So it's like 8 until I'll get home at 7, 6:30. It's crazy, man. It's a long day. Long day. Long day. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sleepy. I'm sorry, man. I'm just very sleepy. It's hard for me to move on. Hello, Newman. Good to see you too. Hello, Christina. How you doing? So happy to be here. I'm glad you're here. I'm happy you are here. Thank you for being here. And you and everyone else, thank you for being here. I appreciate all your times. All your times I appreciate. All right. You know what we got to do, guys? We got to do a Christmas song. So, which Christmas song should I do? Should I do The Grinch? Or should I do something different? What do you guys think? The Grinch?
Cheer up, dude. It's Christmas.
I like that one. Or another one. Different song? What different song would you guys like? What song would you guys like? The Scrooge? You're a me one. Okay. Oh my god, I'm yawning like crazy. What's a good song, Christmas song? You are so mean. You're impossible, Mr. Grinch. Mr. Grinch, how are you? No one's mentioning any songs. Anybody have any songs in mind? Come on. Come on, man. All right, let me know. Think about it. I'm gonna go grab some. I'm gonna go grab a coffee. I'll be right back. What happened to my picture? Oh. So, guys, any suggestions? Cheers. You like my new Scrooge cup? Look, guys, I bought a new I bought a new Scrooge cup. You like it? Look. Yeah. Eh. right. Cat Randall, what's up? Yeah, I gotta close, Cat Randall. It's close to a cat. My mother's close to a Santa one. All right. Let's have a Manimocino coffee. What in the world is that? Manimocino coffee? Yep, a Grinch coffee cup. All right, so no one's gonna mention any Christmas songs to do. All right, well, I guess I'll just have to pick one out. You guys don't want to help. Christmas songs. I'm gonna do that. That's next. My next video. That's my next video right there. All right. All right. Update on Brown shooting. I gotta do that too. A lot of videos to watch today, guys. Oh yeah, you gotta do that too. Oh my God. Is that tomorrow? Oh, that's tomorrow. Never mind. It's tomorrow. I thought it was today. Tomorrow is the court date for Brian Walsh, right? Tomorrow. All right. All right. All right, Christmas song. Wait. No Grinch? Why no Grinch? Frosty the Snowman? Little Drummer Boy? Which one, guys? Come on. Let's get into the Christmas mood, guys. Come on. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Te quiero esta patadita. You want to do Feliz Navidad? Christmas in Dixie? What's that? Carol of the Bells? What's Carol of the Bells? Let me see. What's Carol of the Bells? Ding dong, the wicked dead. Ding dong, ding dong. Carol of the Bells. Who sings that? Oh, come on, man. What's going on? Pentatonic sings it. Karaoke. Let me see. Let's see. Hark the bells, the bells all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and bold. Ding dong, this is their song, which the joy rings and caroling. One seems to hear, birds got to cheer from everywhere is there. I like that song. I like that song, but I don't like that version of it. That's Pentatonics. Let me see what this is. Well, no, not that one. I think this is better. No, this is a different song. Christmas coming with lyrics. Carol of the Bell. Let me see. Let's try this one. Here we go. And here we go. Oh! Here we go! Christmas! Let's go down. Christmas! Baby, please come home. Christmas has turned for the town. Christmas all ringing in song, full of happy and sound. Baby, please come home. They're singing deck the halls, but it's not like fake Christmas at all. 'Cause I remember when you were here, and all the fun we had last year. Christmas, free lights on the tree. I'm watching them shine. You should be here with me. Baby, please come home. They're singing deck the halls, but it's not like the Christmas at all. 'Cause remember when you were here, and all the fun we had last year. Christmas, if there's a way, I hold back this year. But it's Christmas Day. Please, 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 come home. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Come home. Please come home. Please come home this year. I already missed you this year. I want you to come home. I gotta finish this song because it's over. Woo! Oh man, that was fun. That was good. All right, that was good. We good? We good to go? Good job, Rich. Thank you, Angel Eyes. Christmas. Or Metallica, Carol of the Bells. Oh, we'll do that. We'll do that one day. Dr. Eve, how you doing, Dr. Eve? AKA Eve Loves God. How you doing? Nancy, what's up? All right, we good? Any more songs, or are we good to go? Thank you, Doc. All right. That was fun. All right, let's do me one, Mr. Grinch. One more. Here we go. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Woo! You really are a hero. You're as cuddly as the cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5 dough. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I take the seasick crocodile. Crocodile. You gotta try seasick crocodile one day, guys. Seasick crocodile. You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch. Woo! Your king of sinful thoughts. Your heart's a dead tomato plot. Smelly for spots, Mr. Grinch. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic. Uh-oh. You nauseating me, Mr. Grinch. Stop nauseating me with a nauseous super noise. You're a crooked jerky jockey and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Grinch. Your soul is an appalling dump heap overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of rubbish imaginable, mangled up and tangled up in knots. Here we go, last one. Here we go. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasky skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed life. Your soul is full of junk, Mr. Grinch. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote: stink, stank, stunk. Yeehaw! All right, that was fun. All right, that was fun, guys. That was fun. All right, that was fun. You guys enjoyed that? Did you enjoy it? Leave a like, guys. Smash that like button. Donate. Leave a donation. Something. Let's go. I'm gonna get back into the trial. Let me get back into the cases, guys. Oh, man, I'm gonna do the let's follow up when we left off yesterday with the guy who shot and killed his mom and dad. What a loser! What a loser! What a loser! Let's whistle. I don't know what's wrong. Pink Pantheress? I don't know what that is. All right, let me close that window. We'll do that. Which one we'll do first? Officials class was reported during Brown University press briefing. Press briefing. I'm going to do the press briefing. You guys want to do the press briefing? And then we'll do the other video.
Killed his own parents.
Let me see what this is. I'm getting confused. This is the Brown shooting. This is where that guy, those two people killed, right? The Brown shooting is the one where those two guys shot up a couple people, right? Do you guys want to watch that or no?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our daily briefing. I want to start by just acknowledging how the residents of Providence and the students and campus community at Brown are still feeling restless and eager for an arrest. And we understand and share that feeling. We are also eager for an arrest. The investigation is well underway, and we'll hear an update in just a second from Colonel Perez and Attorney General Noronha. But I want to reemphasize that in the Providence community and with the governor's help, really in the broader Providence community, we have tightened security and we have neighbors looking out for one another, and we will get through this. I know our city, and we are a resilient community, and we are a city that will support one another as we move forward in this scary time. Just because you're feeling unsafe doesn't mean that that's invalid. We know that that's real, but we are doing everything we can to both advance this investigation, but also to provide the support necessary as we move forward and take the first steps together that we need to as a city to start to recognize that kids need to go to school and people need to go to work, and we appreciate the courage and sometimes even tentative steps forward that we're taking as we start to move forward as a community.
My pick is lost in the background? What do you mean my pick is lost in the background? Why do you say that? Angel Eyes, why do you say that, Angel Eyes?
Community. At this time, I'd like to introduce Colonel Oscar Perez, who will give an update on the investigation. Thank you.
I'm a mean one, Mr. Rich. I guess. Ray, that's true, Ray.
We can please show the photo that we released earlier today.
Nobody else can see me. Can everybody else see me? Angel Eye says, I can't see you good. Why can't you see me good? There he is. There's the suspect.
So we have released this enhanced photo earlier today, and I want to be clear that this is a person that we would like to speak with. We truly believe, based on the video footage that we have been watching for throughout the days,
did he catch him? I thought he caught him.
That may have relevant information to the
He's not caught yet, guys? I
so
thought he caught him
public
yesterday.
that you can help us identify who this
You're kidding me?
individual is, as well as the individual themselves sees their picture, to please contact the police department. As far as one thing that I want to mention, I want to urge you, the public, not to rely on or circulate AI generated images that are currently being shared on social media, as they're not verified or credible. As well, the updates and information that you're getting will be provided exclusively through this department's official channels. I want to make sure that we make that happen, and please notify the public to make sure that that occurs. I would also like to clarify and show a map. Please, if you can play the map.
Guys, did they find him or not? I thought they caught the guy, no? Does anybody know what's going on right now?
The map here that you see is actually a map of the area that we have been
intensively
walking on those streets, canvassing the area. So as you see the blue image, yesterday I mentioned that we need the public's assistance to check their camera assistance or any sort of video that you may have that could be helpful to us, that you, as you're watching it or as you're reviewing it, you feel there may be something that we can use. Please notify us. And if you need any help with that, viewing those videos, please also call us. We can come over and help you. The green area, that's color, that's when we have confirmed where the subject was prior to the shooting. The red areas, we have also confirmed that that's the immediate area where he left after the shooting. And so this is the map that actually we have so far. We walked it all. We're still actively investigating, and we're still actively having agents, Providence police officers, members of the state police. There's about 9 federal agencies that are assisting us with this investigation, adding the state police as well as the Providence police and other municipalities. Again, I would like to reiterate, if you have any tips, please call the 272-3121 or the FBI link at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Thank you.
Attorney General Peter Nerona for an update. Okay. Thank you, General. One additional update from me, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. First, I want to just take a moment to recognize and honor the memory of Ella Cook and Muhammad Aziz Umerzakov, who are the two deceased victims from this tragedy, and update you on the status of the survivors. Yesterday, we mentioned that one individual had been discharged. I'm happy to report that another individual has been discharged today. That leaves one survivor in critical but stable condition and 5 in stable conditions. The parents that I spoke with today all reported that their kids were improving. So this is a happy announcement. But I know the entire Providence community, the entire state of Rhode Island, the governor and I were together at a memorial service last night, mourn the loss and offer our most sincere condolences to the Cook and Umerzakov families. Following up on a note that the colonel made with respect to AI-generated images and other misinformation, we have created an online folder with all of the video and images that have been released. And we encourage both members of the press, but also members of the community. We know lots of people are sharing information, and we appreciate that. We think that will help with this investigation. But we encourage them to download and share the videos and photos from the website that has been created so that you can ensure that you're sharing an accurate and verified photo and video. That website is now live. It is providenceri.gov/tips, TIPS. providenceri.gov/tips is an online file folder that has the videos and photos that have been released to date, and it will be updated as we progress. There's been lots of conversation up here about the heroic work of the hundreds of law enforcement professionals who remain hard at work 24 hours a day and who are, in fact, making progress. I want to close with one additional thank you tonight. All of those tip line calls are coming into the city's telecommunications department, the same folks who answer the 911 calls, and they too have been working tirelessly. And I want to thank the men and women at dispatch and at telecommunications for their diligence. Everyone in the city of Providence truly has a role to play in this investigation, and we're grateful for their assistance. We'll take your questions. John.
Colonel, I have a question for Colonel with regard to the map. As he's walking around, I want to establish actually, what's the earliest that this person of interest emerges? I believe you had said Saturday morning at 10:30, but then someone else said maybe a couple days earlier. And I recognize that it fluctuates and this is evolving. But as of right now, what's the earliest that this individual, to your knowledge, shows up on camera?
About 10:30 a.m. on the date of this tragic incident. However, so like anything else, I also mentioned yesterday that they do case the areas. They do a lot of prior checking for their crime, and so we truly believe that it could be that possibly it was there prior as well. And so we want to make sure that we don't miss anything. And so that's why we're asking the public to help us to ensure within that map area that I mentioned with the borders between Wickeden, Brook, all those areas, Gano, that if you have a camera system to reach out to us.
I was in along I Street, Gano today. Tremendous number of federal officials literally going door to door. Would you say this? How would you describe? I mean, it just seems that this is probably right now the most massive, intensive manhunt going on in the world.
I think I agree with you on that, John, and definitely commend the men and women, obviously, and all our federal partners. It's a lot of work, and it's intense, as you stated. It takes a lot to be able to knock on doors, see videos, there's terabytes of videos that you have to look, and I mentioned it yesterday. We're looking for a moment that takes almost less than a second, and if you miss it, you're missing something that could be critical and important for us to use. And so, yes, it's definitely an intense, and I believe that is probably the most intense investigation going on right now in this nation.
Colonel, the second person that you want to talk to, can you drill down at all on any interactions that you believe he may have had with the main person of interest? Do you believe he talked to him? How close was he to him? Any interactions? What can you tell us?
So yeah, we have video footage of that determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted that we actually have an interest on. Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with them to find out because videos don't speak. If you think about it, I wish the video could speak, and then I'll have the answers that we need to, so that we can continue on this investigation. So we're trying to find out exactly what it is, and that's why we need to speak with them.
Please.
Does this person, this new individual, have anything to do with why the person of interest was seen running in the surveillance footage?
Again, I wish the videos could speak. We're trying to get those answers.
And have you found any items of interest during your search, specifically clothing?
Nothing as we speak now.
Up front here.
Who among law enforcement or other first responders was first on the scene that day, and who came next?
So Brown University was on scene, and then immediately the Providence Police Department within minutes was there.
Back there. The green jacket.
Previously, we released a video from 216 on the day of the shooting, where we see the person of interest come into contact or near another person. Is that the moment that you think this new person and the person of interest might have come close?
That's correct. It's around the area of Benevolent and Cook.
So behind the Rhode Island Historical Society, that corner of George.
Right near that area, correct.
And you had some searches going on in North Attleboro today. Is that connected at all to this case?
I can't confirm. We're all over the place. If a tip comes in and he needs us to go down to Connecticut, we're going down to Connecticut. If a tip comes in and tells us that we got to go to Boston, we're going to Boston.
Right there in the middle, the green jacket. Go ahead.
Is it possible that the second person could become a person of interest?
All we know is that that person was in the vicinity of the subject that we have an interest on, and we want to speak with them.
Missing.
En
Greg.
español, si nos puede contar esta persona, una persona que busca identificar esa interacción, en qué área sucedió y qué pide de la comunidad.
Yes, so pretty much the question is just, we can explain in Spanish exactly why we're looking for this individual, why do we want to speak with them. So, esta persona verdaderamente es alguien que nosotros tenemos un interés de hablar con ellos porque estaba en la área inmediata donde este individuo estaba. Entonces queremos saber más de por qué estaba ahí para explicar la razón y qué interacción hubo.
¿Tienen algún indicativo de que la persona que cometió el tiroteo actuó sola o actuó con alguien más?
Eso es lo que estamos investigando.
I think you released today. Are we sure it's a man? I know it was brought up in the question before. It could be a man, but are we 100% sure it's a man, or could it be a woman as well?
It's a person that we would like to at least speak with.
But you know, there's no giving a gender at this time.
No, there isn't.
Colonel, there's a black
Gotcha.
satchel that the main person of interest was carrying. In some images, he is seen with it. Some images, he is seen without
Sorry,
it.
man.
Have you recovered that
Come on,
black
man.
satchel? Do you know if can you tell us whether he was wearing that strapped over his shoulder?
Yes.
Was he wearing it before the shooting, after the shooting?
He's wearing it at times, definitely on and off, and I think I addressed that yesterday. Obviously, that we see him in the video with it, and then at times we don't see him, just like you stated. So we're assuming that he actually hid it under the coat that he was wearing, but we don't have it, no.
Patrick.
For Colonel Perez.
Yes.
The map that you showed, it looks like the perimeter has moved south into the Fox Point area from the immediate places where we've seen video footage. Can you tell me why the level of interest has moved south of the shooting site and into the Fox Point area? Is there new video footage? Is there additional evidence that points towards that area?
I mean, the investigation is intensive, so we're following his path. And he's getting us, the last place we saw him was right at Ives near Pittman. And so that's sort of south, and we're going to continue to check, but that's the last place that we saw him. That's why we moved south, and we may continue to move. It all depends. We want to see as far as we can, how far we can go to identify him.
Are there any other sightings or anything else down by, I mean, that you've extended all the way to like Wickedon where we don't have any...
Correct. We're at Ives and Pittman right now, but
Correct.
potentially could lead us further down.
Correct.
Further down to Butler, it could lead us further down south. So we just want to make sure we cover enough.
Steve.
Colonel, can you now explain to us 5 days later how many students were in that classroom? Sadly, 2 lost their lives, 9 others were encouraged about the update today. But can you now say how many kids were in that classroom? And did the gunman come in from the back so these people never knew it was coming? Or did he come in front with full view of everybody?
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with Brown to get the roster. That was a study hall, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there. I know Brown sent out an email to the students to notify us if they were present, and we're still getting that, so I can't give you an exact account now.
Okay, and then just a follow-up. You did say that you lost sight of the gunman at some specific road
Correct.
outside your perimeter. What
No,
happened-
it's within the perimeter, Steve, yeah.
Right, and then what happened with him after that? There's no, you have no video where he could have gone. from there?
We're still out there as we speak. There's people out there, detectives out there, there's task force officers. We're trying to figure out what other locations we can find, but we haven't found anything else. But we're knocking on doors and making sure, and that's why I'm putting out the call to the public to assist us. If you happen to be within that box, that borders exactly where we want you to look, then that's exactly why we're here.
Second row here.
Yeah. Inside the classroom, you've done your interviews, you continue your interviews. The description that eyewitnesses are giving, does it match the primary person of interest? And what can you say more about the weapon? You know that the TA said that he saw a gun that was so big and so long. Is it possible at this point that the gunman had multiple weapons? Can you swear that he was?
Yeah, there's definitely, the interviews are definitely telling us that that's the description that we have. And yes, they're describing the weapon. Some people obviously can think it was chaos. And so, but we're definitely getting some info as far as what the weapon looked like and exactly what was going on in that room. So
You don't think there's multiple weapons?
no, just that individual.
I just want to jump in here too, because you know, you mentioned a long gun. We are not in a position to say, unless the chief, you want to square it, whether this was a long gun or not. I think that there's been an account from the TA. There are multiple accounts about multiple things, including how this gunman approached the victims. Those are not details that advance the investigation. Why not? They don't advance the investigation because as we interview witnesses, we don't want them to learn facts from these press conferences. We want them to relay the facts that they have in their heads, including a person of interest. So we don't want a person of interest to shape what they're telling us based on what we know as expressed to you about those kinds of details, sir.
A long
that you
gun.
asked. So we're being careful about
Long
the facts
guns,
that we're
guys.
sharing for
Long
that
gun.
reason, so that when we talk to witnesses, what we're getting is their factual recitation. And as you might imagine, in a situation where there is chaos, and look, people are ducking for cover as well, they should have. You are going to get different accounts, and part of what's going on now is reconciling those accounts. And I don't know, Chief, if you want to weigh in more about the weapon, but I don't want anyone to leave this room thinking that this weapon was a long gun, because that would be a misperception from what I know.
Alex.
In the video released yesterday, it appears that the person of interest is going by a police cruiser that has its lights on. Does that mean that the dash cam in that cruiser was on and activated, and have police been able to recover anything useful from that video?
So that was a brown police cruiser, and I'm not sure if they have body cameras in their cruisers. I don't think they do.
Dash camera.
That's,
Okay.
I don't want to
And
answer
then my
the
next
chief.
follow-up question would be, are you working with flock camera experts to try and recover anything from those cameras?
So as you know, we work with Flock, we have LPRs in the city, and we're utilizing every resource we can. Yes, Alex. Yeah.
Brian.
Colonel, you mentioned that there is other evidence, but at this point, how much of this investigation turns on the public identifying who's in those images? And are you discouraged or surprised that after a couple days of being out there, you haven't gotten anything more concrete?
No, I think this is, like we said it earlier, it's a very intense investigation, and I think it's going to take public assistance. It's actually going to take, obviously, 21st century policing involving technology, but it's also going to take good old-fashioned police work, which is knocking on doors, retrieving evidence, going through yards, talking to witnesses. It's going to take all that and more, Brian.
And no one's discouraged. I mean, I've been in that command post. No one's discouraged. I mean, leads are coming in, they're being run to ground, and no one's discourred. Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the command post, as the colonel has, and no one's discouraged. I mean, I get when I'm not there, I get hourly reports from my own team, and there's an enormous amount of energy for people who have been working as hard as they have been. I'm really quite impressed by that, frankly, and there's no discouragement among people who understand that not every case is a case that can be solved quickly. In my view, they get solved. It's just a matter of time. In this case, will get solved too.
Would you have a message or an appeal to the shooter or anybody who may think they know who they are, who may be on the fence?
Well, look, certainly it would behoove everyone, including the shooter, to provide information to law enforcement and to the shooter to turn himself in. He will be caught, and it's just a matter of time before we catch him. And I believe that based on my experience, but also from watching the people in that command post and
Didn't they say
getting
they caught him
reports
already?
from where they're coming back out in the field. They know what they're doing. They're experienced. They're working hard. There's no lack of resources. Everyone's working really well together. And we're going to crack this case. And when we crack it, it's going to come open really quickly.
Strike back the best.
Thank you. For you, Mayor, have you spoken?
Guys, didn't they say the other day that they caught the guy? I didn't know he was still at large. I thought they caught this guy. Am I wrong? Was it a fake person? Was it a mistake? Like, I don't know what happened.
Local business owners about how much this is impacting their bottom line, especially during the holiday season, and any concerns that they might have about this.
Yeah, I have. It's hard work being a small business owner, and this time of year is critical to them. There's a commercial district just off campus called Thayer's
I guess they didn't catch him.
Street.
That was probably a mistake.
Those businesses are particularly struggling as both students went home early and some people are avoiding the area. Similarly, there's a couple other commercial districts nearby the area, which is Wickenden Street.
They released him? Wasn't the guy apparently? Really? Oh, my God. So they released the guy that had. It wasn't him. Wow. Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. Danny, how you doing? Damn, Danny. You just got home from work. Big O, welcome home. Welcome home. Madam Rex, hello, Alley Books. Your speaker is sounding like he's still large. Yeah, it does sound like it's still large, but I thought they caught the guy.
This has been discussed here tonight, and Wayland Square. The city's Department of Economic Development, in partnership with the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, is reaching out to those business owners to look at assistance programs or otherwise try to support them to ensure that their businesses can stay healthy and vibrant through this.
Do you know when those might take effect?
Those conversations started yesterday, and so we're working with the various merchants associations to try to determine what sort of assistance might be most helpful and when it's ready to announce.
Wow, I can't believe the guy's still at large.
Thanks.
That's crazy.
Please.
He's still at large, the murderer. Still at large.
So looking at the team map, there's more video so far of him before than there is after the shooting. Do you think that the person of interest got the vehicle somewhere within this area, and are you going to go through license plate readers?
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking for that evidence, if there was any vehicles involved. And yes, you're right. He was there earlier, and so that's why we're looking at that as well. And definitely, we're using, I mentioned that earlier, the LPRs, the flock, any cameras. That's why we're making a call out to the public to assist us with that. And so part of those resources that we're going to need, as the general stated, to make that apprehension.
Dan, I have a question to follow up first with the Attorney General. Attorney General Dan Dunick, NBC 10.
Hi, Dan.
You had said the other day that you released the person of interest because the DNA didn't match, which would assume that there was DNA of the person of interest in that room. Can you tell us what it was, and if he hasn't committed a crime before, how it makes it a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, so DNA, when it's entered into a nationwide system, can confirm the identity of a suspect or a subject. And certainly the advantage here is that when we find a person of interest,
do we know the real guy's
we
name?
Can get a search warrant for a...
Do we know the real guy's name? Do we know who the guy's name is who shot these people, or we don't even know his real name?
What we call a buccal swab. We can compare that to a known quantum of evidence. That can rule people in and obviously can rule people out. That's a powerful piece of evidence, but it's not the only evidence. And relatedly to the question about, do we need only the public? The public
Alley Bugs, good luck on signing your new lease tomorrow. Congratulations.
Is going to really help us here by identifying this person. But at the same time, there are other leads coming in through other forms of electronic and other evidence that are taking multiple teams out in different directions. And we're able through a variety of means, not just...
Where in Queens? Are you moving to Queens, Alley, or someplace else? Where are you moving?
DNA evidence to rule people in or rule people out. And it's a combination of really impressive work by, vector experts in various forms of modern law enforcement techniques.
I have a second question, Brown. So I asked this question out of deep respect, but I asked it for a lot of parents who are frustrated who reached out to me, so please keep that in mind. And they want to know how a school with a $9 billion endowment does not have cameras on one of the older buildings at the edge of the campus where this happened, not even in the front door, who's coming and going. Now, they asked this question knowing that the shooter may have done whatever he wanted.
Why are you moving so far away? Orange County? Milltown? That's way too far, Allie. Why are you moving so far? That's way too far.
But the cameras, A, would have deterred, or B, captured a better look at them, and we wouldn't be here today 5 days out. I want you to explain that because there's a lot of parents who are wondering, where are you investing your money?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and I want to reiterate, as our president did, that supporting our students and communicating to the parents, to our community about our support is of utmost importance. We have 1,200 cameras located throughout the campus. We don't publish the locations of the cameras. That would give a map to somebody to evade detection on the cameras. So that would be counterproductive to do that. There are cameras in this building, and as I answered the previous question, we have turned over all evidence that we are holding at Brown to law enforcement and are cooperating fully with them.
So you're saying that there's cameras in the building. I was told yesterday there wasn't cameras in the building. The Attorney General said, old building, no cameras, attached to a new building with cameras.
I believe he said that there were two different phases of the building that might have two different levels of technology. Again, all video imagery has been turned over to law enforcement.
That doesn't make sense.
Amanda, family there? Well, if you have family there, it's good.
I have a question for the chief and a question for the FBI. Hey, Chief.
Chief, how you doing, Amanda?
Good. So, looking at this person of interest and from the witness descriptions, it appears that this person had a genuine familiarity with Brown, possibly with that building as well. Have you, in questioning people, have you questioned and eliminated any Brown employees, current, former, disgruntled, facing discipline, any kind of...
Yeah, at this point it's unknown to us. I think that the investigation is on, but it's unknown to us where this person works. It's unknown to us if he was an affiliate of Brown. That's all unknown to us. All we have is the image that we've been releasing and informed you all about it. And so we're hoping to get those answers eventually, who that person is or what their background is.
Yeah, man.
Question, follow-up to the FBI, please.
Come on, man.
Oh, sorry.
What you talking about, man?
Yes.
I understand that the FBI has doing tower dumps of cell phone data, and I'm not sure if this is also happening, but if you're also checking the MAC addresses of any phones related to any of the Wi-Fi of residences or Brown University as well. If so, how long does it take to get that information? Have you even received any preliminary information that is helping you narrow down any potential persons of interest?
I will say that I don't want to get into the specifics of the techniques that we use investigatively, but I will say that we are using every resource that we have to find this subject and bring him to justice.
But when it comes to cell phone data, how long does it take to get that information? Would it be getting weeks, months?
I will say that it varies as it relates to getting that type of data. I will say that everything that we're doing is getting expedited based on the gravity of what has happened here at Brown University. Right next to it.
Have you recovered any physical evidence during these recent searches and possibly including a gun magazine?
So we have done extensive searches both inside the location as well as outside. Yes, we have seized and found physical evidence.
And does that include a gun magazine?
We have found physical evidence.
Can you say where?
I'm not going to confirm. I'm sorry? Yeah.
Colonel, for the past couple of days, we have zeroed in on this particular person of interest. Can you kind of help remind us about why you believe this is someone who possibly could be either the shooter or a suspect? You've been very careful not to say a suspect. You've said a person of interest, that this is the only video. Can you help remind us about why you believe this is the person, not looking for others?
Yeah, we have enough evidence, I think, that's taken us to that level to identify this individual as someone who was there immediately after, before, case in the area. There's enough for us to believe that's definitely a subject of interest based on descriptions, based on statements. And so that's the reason we're calling him a subject of interest, just to ensure that we have enough. And once we identify him, to be able to take the next step.
A quick follow-up.
you were very clear not to use gender with the person in proximity to the person of interest, but you have been using male pronouns describing this person as a man. For this particular person of interest, we can say for sure you believe that we are looking for a man for the person of interest?
Correct. In the back here.
At this point, and this is for the FBI, at this point, this person could be anywhere, right? I-95 runs right through the state. So how are you coordinating with other states to determine whether this person of interest could be?
No, they didn't say anything with that, Tammy.
Through all of our field offices, we
They're
have
mentioning with cameras in
56
school.
field offices throughout the United States, as well as legats abroad. And so the information that we have, once it goes
Before the
into our data
cameras.
systems, we are sharing that information real time with all of our FBI field offices and the partners as well. And so that is a way in which we're making sure that whether that subject has left the state or even left the country, that we are using that full reach of the federal arm to track that individual down.
And a follow-up, real quick, for one of you. I understand that Brown has 1,200 cameras. Why, and that those images have been handed over to the investigation, why have we not seen any of this footage? Wouldn't it help if the media or if the general public saw people walking through campus and
Where are the pictures?
Yeah, I mean, my answer to that is footage of students running from the scene doesn't help advance identifying this person or this investigation. So,
walking into the building?
no, not him. I'm talking about video footage of students that were not harmed, other students hearing shots, running through a different part of the building. We have video footage of that. That doesn't help us identify this individual.
With respect to Attorney General, I think we could all agree that maybe, within the 24 hours ahead of that time, there is a lot of footage that could be gone through, or there's 1,200 cameras that you say there are in the school. Why hasn't that just been released to the public?
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it?
Why not?
Well, because here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to preclude the public, online investigators in the press, from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person. The FBI, with respect, cannot find a person we have not identified yet. The way we identify him is to focus on this person, exhaust our investigative resources to pull videotape so that we can get an image out there that the public may be able to identify. At the same time, exploiting other evidence to try to track this person in different ways, which has been going on for the last 72 hours. So, well, what does that look like? What that looks like is information coming from the tip line. The team runs it to ground. They rely on other evidence, the flock cameras that the colonel referenced, other electronic data that Amanda's referring to, and you can rule that person in or out. When that person's is ruled out, you move on to the next one. The way the public helps us now is to help us identify this person, okay? But that's not the exclusive way we're going at it. But it does not advance our investigation to have reams of data out there that don't help identify the shooter. And we're confident of that.
My follow-up question just to that was as well is, we speak a lot about the public helping as well, and we know that the FBI is involved. But 5 days, a person can get very far in 5 days. What other state police departments are helping you with this, and do you have any indication how far this person may have gotten in this time?
Oh, go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, no, I got it. So pretty much it's a great point, and that's something that we're considering. Obviously, he could be anywhere. You're right. And I think the fact that we're all here in this room and we're providing the info and it's being spread out through this nation, I would hope, I'm speaking to different chiefs. I've had the privilege to know a lot of them. We're exchanging info as we speak. We don't know. But we still don't know what the person is or who he is, right? And so we're going to continue to view, review, and then send out. And I just want to touch on that question because you do make a good point. If there's 1,200 cameras, right? How come we're not seeing it at all? But at the end of the day, we're looking at key evidence, key video evidence to send out. It makes no sense to re-victimize students who went through that. That's not my job, and that my responsibility is to ensure that people are safe. It's no different than I'm asking the public to provide me with video footage for weeks. I don't want to know what's going on in their homes for weeks. I want to know if they can see a piece of evidence that is going to be helpful for us to progress in this investigation.
What do we know about the level of public access to Garrison Hallway? Is this a door that somebody from the shooter would have been able to walk in, or is this a place where you would have needed like swipe access to get in?
Certainly. Thanks for that question. Brown is no different than most colleges and universities that during daytime hours, there's open access to academic spaces. So that was the case on the day of the event.
Bill.
Question for Brown. There are some buildings on campus that have what the private or non-police security guards posted at the front entrance. Was there a security guard ever posted at the engineering building entrance? If so, were they there that day, and what did they do? And if not, why not?
So maybe I'll ask our chief of police to speak to that.
On that day, we did not have and do not have a security asset posted inside the building.
Is that atypical of a Saturday or in that particular building? How do you determine where security is posted, and is that under the purview of Brown Police?
That is typical for that academic space.
That there would not be a security personnel?
Correct.
Here you go.
One for the Colonel, one for you, Mr. Mayor. As far as the investigation goes, any updates on a possible motive here? And for the mayor, while I have you, we're getting towards Christmas time. Obviously, this suspect can get lots of different places, not just on campus there. What is your message to people coming into this area, seeing family who are concerned that this guy is still out?
Yes, so the motive is unknown at this time.
As we're, what are we, a week away from Christmas now? This only emphasizes the question that I think everyone's been asking, which is, are we safe in Providence right now? Which honestly is the hardest question that I keep getting asked. And whether it's the holidays or not, but with the holidays, we expect even more people to want to come home and celebrate with family and share the traditions that, are seared in all of our brains of holidays with our parents and loved ones. We can't lock down the city indefinitely. We can't. And I know this city. I know that they are tough. I know that they are resilient. I know that they have faced scary times before. And so we are doing everything possible to provide extra law enforcement, extra visibility, things to reassure confidence at a scary time. And it is a scary time here in the city. That's true at Christmas time. That was true when this started on Sunday morning, the first morning after. And so we are doing everything possible, but obviously families are going to have a conversation about what's right and what's best. But they should know that their city government is doing everything they know how. And thanks to the help of our friends, the governor and the Rhode Island State Police, our neighboring communities here in Rhode Island. For those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, this is a tight-knit place. And we have police officers from every corner of Rhode Island helping out in Providence right now. And so we are doing everything we can to reassure folks, to provide comfort, particularly as we expect will be even busier a week from now. And that is the best honest answer that I can give to that very difficult question. Please.
This question is for the Colonel. I know you've been interviewing survivors, specifically survivors that were in that classroom where the shooting took place. Have any of those survivors described the person of interest as the shooter, or have they given a physical description of the shooter that is similar to the person of interest that we've been showing?
I don't know if I'm going to find this guy, man. It's going to be hard to find him, I think.
Yes.
He's a tall guy. He looks tall.
I'm
Looks
happy
different.
to see Steve Compton. Thanks very much. A two-part question, both for Colonel Perez and Dawson, FBI. As you've expanded the area that you've appealed to people who may have cameras within about a medium block area,
Is it fair to say that the calls of people with cameras have tailed off, that you've gotten about all you can get?
No, we're still getting info. We're still getting calls, and we're doing a lot of knocking on doors, and it's been extremely helpful. So no, we're not done. We're going to continue to expand, and we get calls, and sometimes just knocking on doors alone is providing us that evidence.
And notwithstanding the fact the FBI issues a bulletin to all of its field offices and so forth, is it fair to say that until and unless you get a picture of this guy stepping into a car, you're not going to, basically you're starting from square one? You don't really have a sense of who he is, where he's going, and how he's getting there.
I would say, as it relates to the FBI, as well as our partners here, any information that comes in, that has not tailed off at all. And I would say one thing that remains constant is we will always need the public's assistance in anything that we do. No matter what you guys may see on TV, we will always need the public's assistance. I say as it relates to that, any tip that comes in, the information that we get, we're able to aggregate that and push out, not only to make links with other FBI field offices, so in a way in which we can follow that lead all the way to ground. And so the information that is coming in, we are pushing that out throughout our field offices, throughout our partnerships into that community, and then we get it back as well. That's helping us to cross off leads in which are not valid, and then to push on leads that are valid as well.
But without that, I don't know if it's a video or something that shows him stepping into a car and you get a plate or something along those lines, makes your job that much more difficult.
Yes, and I mean, I think we've mentioned this job is painstakingly difficult, but we've signed up to do it. As the AG mentioned, we have not lost any vigor or investigative rigor as we've gone forth into this. I will say that evidence that you're talking about sounds more like a smoking gun. Oftentimes, within my experience in the FBI, and I'm sure our partners as well, we get seeds. We only get seeds. And then through investigative, through that hard work, as the Colonel mentioned, we end up building that story. We put that puzzle together. That's what we do. That's what we signed up for, and we're committed to that, to this community, to help do that.
In the back there. Yeah.
Thank you. Colonel, I want to follow up on one of my colleagues over there. You mentioned old school police work, and my colleague mentioned crossing people off the list, like basically making sure it's not that person, it's not that person. In homicide,
Ashley, how you doing, Earth Ashley? What's up?
Someone close to the victim.
How you feeling?
And if so, have you? And the person also seemed to have no ground somewhat. Have you knocked off every single person from ground? When I say knock off, meaning they didn't do it, they didn't do it, they didn't do it, from staff to students.
Yes, of course. I mean, investigations, and I don't think that in every homicide, everyone that commits the homicide is close to that person. That's not something that happens. But we have obviously eliminated those strong leads that come up as strong leads. As a tip comes up, we label it as a high priority, medium priority, low priority. And yes, once we vet it through and make sure that we cover everything and we prove that that person has nothing to do with it, absolutely, we clear it out.
Yeah, and if I could I just want to just jump in here to clarify that. So clearly, one of the things the investigators do, maybe not so clearly, is that when you have a victim, you build back all of the relationships. You do that in any case. And so you build a profile of your victims, so you know who may have threatened them, what they may have said that might have caused somebody to react a certain way. So yeah, that work is ongoing in conjunction with all the other work we're doing. But from where I sit today, there's been no development of any evidence that suggests that that's what drove this shooter. That could change, but there's nothing that we have recovered or analyzed to date that suggests that it was specific person motivated. Again, could change, but we're 5 days out. That work is being done, and there is nothing that suggests
5 days out already. 5 days.
Last question.
This is for
5 days
and potentially Brown, but 5 days have passed. How is it possible that we still don't have a clear idea of who was in the classroom
5 days
during the shooting?
5 days have passed. It could be 6 days. We were hoping that only 1 day passed. Unfortunately, investigations, as this nature of investigation, as intensive as it is going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person's going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find them.
But surely there's a log or something of people entering that classroom in particular, no?
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study sessions taking place. That particular classroom, it was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster, we'd have handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. But for a study session, it's elective.
We're finishing the answer. Ronaldo.
It's elective. It's elective to turn out for a study session. So we don't know exactly what fraction of the overall roster turned out for a voluntary review session.
So there's no physical log, just to clarify?
Law enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal law.
The camera in that building, they Brown put up because the sanctuary city law that we have, you don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives, they are friends of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family want to go through? Tell the truth to the media here. Putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown Police Chief and the Provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4.
Well, let's see what happens
All
tomorrow.
right, that is the latest update from the police as well as the mayor's office and other officials as we continue to get new information, but the manhunt continues in this deadly Brown University shooting.
Months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices.
We want to now take you out to Providence, Rhode Island. Officials.
FBI or immigration.
Same, which is that Brown has been entirely. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow.
Mayor's office and other officials.
Let me see something. I want to see what these videos are over here. Please receive photo first.
In the meantime, though, want to transition to some breaking news that we now have coming into our newsroom.
What was that?
In the meantime, though.
Look at that dead body on the floor. You saw that dead body? Oh my God. Yo, that's a dead body on the floor right there. Holy shit. Who are those people dead? Oh my God.
In the meantime, though, want to transition to some breaking news that we now have coming into our newsroom. We've been following this since that first broke on Saturday, but new details in the Brown University shooting. I want to put this up on your screen. This is the latest information that has since been released by Providence Police. As you can see there, they've put out these new photos there on your screen. This is of a now second person that they're seeking information on in connection to the shooting. This was just released within the last hour there from the.
Let's see. It's so hard to see his face. You can't see any details in his fucking skin. It's all blurry. Why is it blurry?
In connection to.
It's so blurry. And what is in his hand? What is he holding? A banana?
This was just released within the last hour.
What's in his hand? White gloves in his hand? No, I don't know about that.
Police department depicting this new photo of a person wearing a hood, a blue jacket, seemingly dark colored slacks or pants, and holding a bag on their side. And so it does appear that the person has a different color hood on than the jacket that they're wearing themselves. But I want to put this up on your screen.
He looks gay. No offense, but he looks gay the way he's walking and holding the bag. Only men don't hold a bag like that. I'm sorry. Look how he's holding the bag. He's holding it like a girl. I think this guy's gay or a female. I don't know.
because this is the social post that went along with these photos that were released, saying that those investigators are now asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in these photos.
But the way it makes him look gay by the way he's holding the bag on his shoulder. Guys don't wear. I don't know. In my opinion, this is weird. I'm just saying. Maybe it's not, but it could be. It's just weird how he's holding it. It's just weird how he's holding it. I'm sorry.
Proximity of the person of interest. Anyone with information is urged to call the tip line. That number there on your screen, 401-272-3121. We are now entering, though, day 5 of this manhunt for the suspect in this case. And authorities are now asking the public for any additional footage that they may have of the gunman who fatally shot 2 students and wounded 9 others at Brown University on Saturday. They're starting to release more information and a video timeline with clearer images of that initial suspect. But again, this is the breaking news this hour. Police are now releasing photos of a person that they say is in proximity to the person of the Brown University shooting. They were seen on surveillance video near that initial person. And so at this point, as of late last night, investigators provided no indication that they were closer to zeroing in on the specific person's identity. Of course, we have been taking these press conferences that have been given daily with updates about the person who is accused of this shooting. We do know that in the meantime, we've gotten an update on some of those victims who were shot but not killed in the shooting as well. In fact, the Rhode Island Hospital released an update this morning saying that they treated 9 patients for gunshot injuries. 6 of those patients still remain hospitalized in stable condition. 1 is critical but stable condition, and 2 have since been discharged. But this is also one I put up on your screen. The victims that we have seen so far in this case, these 2 young students who were killed in this shooting at Brown University. We've been getting some reaction in from, of course, the university president, students on campus, and so many others connected there. But we want to make sure that we're bringing you these updates as they come. Police in the last hour, once again.
Let's do a little rest in peace. A moment of silence for these guys. Let's do a moment of silence, guys. You ready? A moment of silence for Ella Cook and Muhammad that's a hard name to pronounce. Oh my God. Wow. That is a hard name to pronounce. I'm sorry. Right, moment of silence. Amen. May he rest in peace.
In the last hour, once again, releasing this photo that's there on your screen. I want to show you one more time a larger view of some of those photos that we've been watching as they play out for you here. What you need to be focused on is this is a person who was considered to be in proximity of the person of interest. This person there wearing dark colored clothing, a jacket, dark slants, dark pants, I should say, as well as a hood over their head. They're seeking information about this person, also carrying a bag over their shoulder. So if you have any other information, please bring it to the Rhode Island Police Department. They are asking that you call that tips number.
Yeah, rest in peace.
We'll continue to keep you updated if we learn any more information.
Man, that's sad, guys. That's sad. Very sad. Oh, we missed a guys. Look, we missed a police chase 4 hours ago. Oh man, 4 hours ago, we just missed it. Oh man. Oh man, I'll watch it later.
So again, live pictures from live Copter 3 if you're just joining us. This is a pursuit.
Oh, man, I want to watch that. Damn, I missed it. Damn.
I wouldn't say they've hit a dead.
As 10:30 a.m., 5.5 hours before the shooting. They're hoping someone out there will recognize the way that he walks and carries his weight. Sometimes he's seen wearing a satchel, sometimes he's not. Investigators say the video released is the best video they have of this person. Now, back out here in front of the Barris and Holly building.
How come, why aren't all news channels playing these videos? This is the only news video channel I've seen playing videos of him walking around. Other ones, all the other videos that we've seen are him standing there, frozen. Like, I don't understand. Here, look, here in this video, he's walking around. Look.
Neighborhood as early as 10:30 a.m., 5.5 hours before the shooting. They're hoping someone out there will recognize the way that he walks and carries his weight. Sometimes he's seen wearing a satchel, sometimes he's not. Investigators say the video released is the best video they have of this person. Now, back out here in front of the Barris and Holly building, I want to give people an idea of the timeline and sort of what we now know based on the FBI's information.
What's up, M Theory? Michael Tingley, how you doing?
Behind me is the north entrance, sort of the back entrance, loading dock, and parking lot. The FBI has focused a ton of energy on that entrance. We've seen people in Tyvek suits and cameras looking at that. It's believed, based on what we know, that the gunman, primary person of interest, the suspect, came out of that entrance or exit and started walking this way and passing this dumpster. Now, over the last few days, we've seen FBI agents in Tyvek suits inside of that dumpster. This is a school parking lot. Now, after he goes by this way, according to what the FBI timeline says, that person of interest is seen on a surveillance video 2 blocks away, and he crossing Hope Street. You can see him running through crossing Hope Street, which is behind that vehicle. I don't know if Dave can show that pole to the left of that car. But there is a surveillance video at 4:03 p.m. that shows the primary person of interest running past that pole across Hope Street to Waterman. The person of interest is seen for the last time at 4:06 p.m. going down Waterman Street. Now, it's really interesting to note here, the cameras have been a big issue in this investigation. Dave, if you just look around this parking lot to show everybody, there are no cameras that we can see out here, right outside of the Barris and Hawley building. You can see there are no cameras that we see visible to the eye. So that is something that has been a big sticking point in this investigation. The only camera, again, that catches this primary person of interest is down the block all the way over there, running out. So that is where we're at now with the investigation. John and Sandra.
All right, thanks. And we look forward to more updates as the hours and days progress. Brian Yanis for us. Brian, thank you. Sandra?
All right, let's bring in retired NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor Paul Morrow, who's also live on the scene there in Providence. So much I want to ask you about based on what we're now learning. First of all, the university and the local police there told students, staff, administration that there was no immediate threat on campus, that they should feel secure while also remaining vigilant. Now learning they're looking for a person of interest connected to the person of interest.
No, that's him right there walking.
I mean, are people safe that are still there?
No, they're not safe.
I mean, it's very hard to say. Just let's remember that they sent everybody home. The school has told everybody that finals are canceled, school is over for the semester, and that's apparent here on the streets. They're relatively deserted. To be clear,
he killed 2 people. How is that neighborhood safe when the guy who killed 2 people is still at large? No, the neighborhood is not safe. Sorry.
the building that we're at, which is where the shooting occurred, is right on the edge. It's realistically the first aspect of Brown University that you hit when you walk out of the adjacent residential neighborhood. There's a neighborhood right here. It's very affluent, a lot of houses that are behind walls well set back, which I think explains the paucity of private videos that they've been able to get from ring cameras and the like.
It's ridiculous.
So whether or not they're safe, the police very clearly, they're trying to walk that fine line between creating an element of panic, but reassuring people that they're doing everything that they can and that people should go about their lives.
Oh my, what a mistake.
Paul, okay,
what a
so
mistake.
You mentioned students leaving campus. There's been some who have taken issue with that because obviously, with the lack of cameras and video surveillance footage, many are wondering, are they letting some of the students go that could have been eyewitnesses that could help aid this investigation? Should there be further interviews or more interviews that haven't happened yet, Paul? Is there a risk to letting all these people go home?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there is. You're absolutely right. And we saw this. I know I've name-checked it before, but the public knows it, so I use it. The Koberger case. That happened University of Idaho at Moscow. And same situation there. They canceled the rest of classes. The kids that were going to the school, they all dispersed. And as a result, when it came time to do some interviews, they had to actually rely on police all around the country to go knock on doors and ask, were you there and what did you see? I suspect there's going to be some of that here as well.
Where's he going?
And there's also the fact that, as I said, because this is adjacent to a residential neighborhood, during the weekend, in the immediate aftermath of the event, because it happened on a Saturday, a lot of these people were not home. Some of them might not still be home because they may be gone to Florida for the season or something like that. And that's why you're seeing video dribble in, because they're canvassing the season or something like that. And that's why you're seeing video.
Look how he starts running. Look. He's over here.
Be home because they may be gone to Florida for the season.
Look, he's walking slow right there. There's a man. There's a man on the right side of the screen. You see the guy on the right side of the screen? There's a man on the right side, and the defendant, he's at the corner on the left side where the circle is. So watch. He walks up to the corner and sees this guy walking down the street, and look, I think he runs away from him. Look,
or something like that.
Look, he runs.
That's why you're seeing video dribble in, because they're canvassing.
He's running away from that guy who's walking towards him.
Very hard, going further and further out, trying to get a hold of people that have either just returned or maybe even getting a hold of them wherever they are and saying, can you get somebody to let us in and access your Ring camera? Or they're going right to the source and saying, we need a consent from you because we're going to pull video from the video company.
I mean, you think that could happen faster than it is, but I don't know enough to be a critic of that. I also want to ask you about a discussion I just had with my colleagues downstairs on Outnumbered. Kayleigh Mackinnon and I were discussing, obviously, there are going to be parents who are going to be very concerned about sending their kids to a university where we're learning there wasn't an abundant camera presence, we're learning, to pull enough surveillance footage to catch this person this long after this crime happened. As far as armed security on campus, Kayleigh and I were wondering what you can tell us about that since you're on the ground there. Is the security on campus at Brown armed?
Brown has its own police force. They're an actual gun-carrying police force, the Brown University Police, and they actually responded. Ultimately, they were the ones who would be responsible for activating the sirens, etc. They have a chief of security as well. And I think, Sandra, and not to use an unfortunate metaphor, but you're right over the target, because you gotta say to yourself, how is it that in a building that is not only at the edge of campus, which says to me you got to be very cognizant of people wandering in and out, not even shooters, just trespassers, people that are homeless or people looking to do a burglary. How is it that the outer salient of your campus, which is where one of the most busy classes that they have is held, how is it that the ingress and egress doesn't have a simple camera, the kind of Ring cameras that we're even talking about in a private home? Costs next to nothing in the course of a university budget. They don't have that. On a day that there were a number of things going on a Saturday during final season, they apparently had either propped open the door or literally deactivated the card access during the day, and there was no security guard. So you really do have to question why it is that the building was so insecure and why we're not hearing more about that. Let's remember, a place like Brown drives the economy in this town. And I don't think it's any accident that there have been so many politicians at the lectern, and yet we're not hearing a whole lot from Brown Security.
I mean, where's the head of security protocol for the university to explain what the protocol was and what the protocol is? Final question. I mean, does it stump you that there's not just more eyewitness video footage? I mean, we were also just discussing you can't go anywhere now without, 20 cameras up and catching something, anything that is happening at any given moment anywhere. Why have we not seen any further video of what went down that day, that hour?
Well, like I said, you know, the school, he fled into the residential neighborhood from the edge of the school campus. So you can take the school off the table. And as I said, then you're down to the local residences. There are other things you can hope for here relative to video. A lot of car dash cams have video these days. Somebody might have got picked up. Hopefully they're looking at that and they're hoping people will come forward with something like that. But the fact that video is still, you know, sort of coming in, I think shows you they are pressing on that front. We got this new image of a person of interest. They're not couching that as a person that replaces the original one. They seem to be saying maybe somebody who knows something or somebody who might be involved. And there's some hopeful signs in that video. I only took a quick look.
Generating so many more questions.
I'm wondering if every case, for 6 weeks, everybody said these guys
have faith in the process.
Hey, the school's got to opt. And frankly, thank you.
All right.
I'm just trying to. I just want to clear a video. Nancy Grace slams Rick Reiner's potential insanity defense. Like, let me see if this video looks. Does this video look better?
Everyone wants to know how you get your exercise in because you're so lean.
Does it look better, this video?
Do it like ISIS.
What do you guys think?
Photo. It is of a second person they say was in proximity to the person of interest. There is sure to be a lot of questions about this second person at today's briefing. We'll see if, as opposed to the past, we actually get any answers. Fox News correspondent CB Cotton is standing by in Providence ahead of the news conference. CB.
I gotta move on.
Hey, well, yeah, we are just moments out from that news conference where we expect to get an update from investigators. I will say the case seems to be developing at a faster pace. Late this afternoon, Providence police announced there's now a second person that looks like a green hoodie underneath. The person also appears to be wearing glasses, and other photos.
That looks more clear in this video, right, guys? What do you guys think here? More clear?
Today, this person also carried a light colored bag. Officers say the individual was spotted near the man they've been looking for, the one we've been talking about. Police say that man is described as 5'8" with a stocky build and that he cased the neighborhood before the shooting. Brown also released a statement saying they're planning to do a large-scale systematic security review of the entire campus as people continue to point out what appear to be security lapses in the aftermath of the shooting. The president even weighing in, writing on True Social, why did Brown University have so few security cameras? There can be no excuse for that in the modern age. It just doesn't get worse. But yesterday, Brown's president, Christina Paxson, said the shooter is the only one to blame.
The shooter is responsible. Horrific gun violence took the lives of these students and hospitalized others. And it's deeply sad and tragic that schools across the country
a genuinely.
I want to see
university leadership, city leaders, law.
All right, that's it. That's what I need. That's it, guys. I'm moving on. If you guys see anything else different, let me know. I gotta move on to Rob Reiner and the Rob Reiner situation because this is a little crazy. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see the video here. This is Rob Reiner. I'm going to Rob Reiner, guys. We're moving on to Rob Reiner and his son, who murdered his mom and dad. That's sad, man. That's sad. Wild Dog says, let's watch a video on the MIT professor that was murdered. MIT professor that was murdered. Who was that? Email it to me. Email me the video. I'll look at it later.
Everyone wants to know how you get your exercise in because you're so lean.
I do it like ISIS. I usually only do it
this is Rob Reiner's son, guys. This is Rob Reiner's son. A disturbing video from 2016 appearing to belong to Nick Reiner resurfaced in which he appears to mimic cocaine use and makes a threat to kill a dog. The video reemerged after Reiner's December 14th arrest in connection with the death of his parents.
I don't even care if anyone calls me a Sally, because I'm a snail and I'm never gonna fail. And you know what? You're gonna have to bail me out of jail.
Wow. Look at that bush. Let me see that. Hold on a second. No, hold on. Let me see that bush.
Out of jail.
Look at those trees. Guys, look at those bushes next to him. He's walking up the block here next to his house. But look at those bushes. Those bushes are like walls. Holy moly. That's a big ass bush. Holy shit. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. Isn't that big, guys? Isn't that a lot? That's a lot of bushes. They're huge, right? They're fucking huge. Huge. You need a super hedger for those? Look how big these are. They're like 30 feet high. They're at least 30 feet high. Wow. If I make a lot of money in the future, I want that. I want that in my house, next to my house. Yeah, that's what she said. Huge. That's what Allie Book says. She likes it huge. And we know Allie.
Where'd you get this weed?
Say and spell your first and last name for me.
I ain't gonna tell you my first and last name. Most people know me as Did David.
We're wondering
Do you
what.
know how long this interview is gonna be?
You're gonna say I'm a
This is producer Katya of this book. This is one of my favorite reads when I'm sitting by the campfire or like relaxing in Malibu.
And it's all rock and roll based. Sorry. I'm not into this rap thing, you know.
But that hurts my feelings, but like I love rock and roll as well, so I'm glad we can
Okay,
connect on
good,
that.
good. See you in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Japan.
Why did you, when you were sitting by the campfire, why did you invite all those young kids to come sit by the fire and have you read to them about it? I mean, I thought that was kind of odd.
That is totally falsified in every way.
Yeah, falsified.
Donald Trump. No. He's my man. He's my man.
Oh my God. He's my man. He's my man. Very lost. He's very lost. Not a little lost. He's very lost. Is that his sister? My slave? Oh, little dog in the background. Look at the dog in the floor. Oh.
No introduction.
Look how cute that doggy is, guys. Look at the doggy. Oh, look at the dog on the floor. How he's playing with the balls. Just watch. Look at him. Oh, he's so cute.
No introduction. Jenny from the cul-de-sac, of course. She has a boyfriend now who's in the military. He's actually dead. She's died in Iraq. She moved to
Kim's got killed his father and mother.
Patagonia.
He killed his mom and dad.
I guess it could have been pretty awkward when
This guy
PETA
killed his mom
approached
and
you about
dad.
joining their team.
I'm gonna go kill that dog.
Oh!
Why do you like Snapple so much?
Mainly because
his diet.
When I'm done drinking it, I can go in my room and squirt lotion in it and then use it to stick my penis in.
What?
Sometimes.
What?
I'm out to gather my
ew, that's nasty, man.
my sick thoughts.
Wow.
They know the David who go on stage, who has his ways about him, but you know, they really want to know what's inside. Because I like spat on his windshield.
I think we would all just be blown away if you could kind of walk us down Freestyle Alley. Oh, look, there's one of your fans now.
That's Barbara. She's blind, so that's why she didn't see the wave. The geniuses, the brilliant
she's blind.
ones, the people. I'm referring to myself.
He said she's blind.
You know, we're close to making a deal that will, of course, make him the worldwide star that he deserves to be.
50 million on the line, and they were like practically just jacking me off the whole time.
Going to a party.
He's not even interesting enough to be weird. He's a bore. He is a bore, but he killed his parents, who were famous, and now he's popular. That's fucked up. I don't know why he killed his parents. Why would you kill your mom and dad? You killed your mom and dad. That's fucked up, man. Now that's fucked up. Wow.
Yo, I feel like
Where did that come from? Why did he do that?
I'm like 5.
I got like 100 personality disorder.
Okay, I'm scared of them.
Dude, I was just about to just want my mouth is getting a little parched because of how much I'm talking to y'all, but this.
Anyway, we really haven't really delved into anything deep, so.
Yeah, well, that was a video I wanted to show you guys. That was on this that was on the news today. But let's get back to a video uploaded by our friend Vinnie Politan. You ready?
The violent, brutal murders of Hollywood icon Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, and the arrest of their own son, Nick. Here's the story. Every story has a beginning. Some have an end we never expect. Rob Reiner, the legendary filmmaker behind Stand By Me and When Harry Met Sally, spent decades bringing laughter, heart, and truth to audiences worldwide. A husband, father, and storyteller, he believed in the power of love and family, even when his own son battled addiction. But one December weekend in Brentwood, Los Angeles, that belief would meet a devastating turn. After a tense argument, Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner were found dead in their home. Authorities have arrested their son Nick, and a community reels from a tragedy that no one saw coming. What happened during the final hours of the life of this Hollywood icon? This hour, we're going to take a close look at a lot of the issues and some of the newer developments in the investigation into the death of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, a violent end that they met inside their own home, inside their own mansion out in Brentwood. Let's get to some of the facts here. We're going to bring in Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who joins us tonight live in Los Angeles at the LA County Superior Courthouse. And we have new video, Cody, allegedly showing the arrest of Nick Reiner. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Vinny, that's absolutely right. This new video posted by the outlet Page 6, allegedly showing that arrest. Now, we heard from DA Nathan Hochman today that Nick Reiner was arrested without incident. Now, they say this shows Nick Reiner surrendering to police. You see him throwing his hands up at a crosswalk at a metro station in downtown L.A. This is about 15 miles away from his mother and father's Brentwood home in Los Angeles, where those stabbings took place. Now, we know that he was arrested near the Exposition Park area, obviously in a public area near the University of Southern California. And Vinny, upon talking to some people here in Los Angeles today, just some people on the sidewalk, they say that area is a heavily drug-influenced area as well, methamphetamine, heroin, things of that nature. But that video, again, posted by the outlet Page 6, showing Nick Reiner.
What did you say? Dr. Eve says he likely blamed them for his interior complex? What's that? What's interiority complex, Dr. Eve? What does that mean? What does that mean, girl? Where's that? Where's your comment? What? 103? Where is it? Oh, here. He likely blamed them for his interiority complex. What's soft inferiority complex? What's that? Dr. Eve, what's that?
Throwing his hands up and being arrested by LAP.
Dr. Eve is too smart for us, guys. She has these smart words.
ED.
All right, let's talk about the big press conference that took place. What did the DA say about this case?
Well, the
Cakes Boo, how you doing, Cakes Boo? I didn't see you. How you doing?
most important thing, Vinny, he says official charges will be filed and that the death penalty is still on the table. They have not made a decision about it yet, but it's on the table as far as this case progressing. Now, District Attorney Nathan Hochman says prosecutors will file 2 first-degree murder charges against Nick Reiner, which he says are upgraded to special circumstances due to there being multiple murders involved in this case. Now, he explained the charges, why they may seek the death penalty, and how the case may play out. Take a listen to this.
Today, I'm here to announce that our office will be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that
is there a death penalty in there's no death penalty in Cali, right, Danny?
He personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Come on, guys. Buy yourself a membership for my channel. Come on. Seriously. Membership up, guys. Membership up.
Or the death penalty.
It's only $3, $2. It's not expensive.
Decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. Announcing these charges, I also want to announce that they're just that. They are charges. Charges are not evidence. Evidence is something that we will be presenting in a court of law to meet the standard of proof we meet in every criminal case, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, to 12 jurors who will unanimously have to find that we've met that standard to prove the charges we bring to court. Right now, with respect to the process, once the charges get filed this afternoon, Nick Reiner will be then brought to court. He is going through medical clearance, something that everybody who gets arrested and gets held in a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department jail goes through. Once he is medically cleared, he will be brought to court to be arraigned on these charges. At that point, he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Now, prosecuting these cases involving family members are some of the most challenging and most heart-wrenching cases that this office.
You guys think he's gonna do? What do you guys think he's gonna do? Guilty or not guilty? What do you guys think he's gonna plead? Guilty or not guilty? Let's Let's do a poll. Cakes Boo. Thank you for your membership, Cakes Boo. Run that shit. Let's go. You already know. Let's have some fun in the house, baby.
DJ Grinch in the mix. In the mix.
We love you, DJ Grinches.
On such short notice, even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it.
What?
4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity.
All right, next. Thank you for your membership, Cakes Boo. Run that shit. You already know. Yeah. Let's go, Cakes Boo. The fresh is so clean. Thank you, Cakes Boo. All right, let me do a poll. I'm going to do a poll, guys. I'm going to do a poll. The poll is, do you think that he will plead guilty or not guilty for murdering his parents? Do you think that he will plead guilty or not guilty? Here's the poll, guys. Everybody vote.
Faces because of the intimate and often brutal nature of the crimes involved. Rob Reiner was a brilliant actor and director, an iconic force in our entertainment industry for decades. His wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, was an equally iconic photographer and producer.
I'm gonna get my coffee. Be right back.
Their loss is beyond tragic, and we will commit ourselves to bringing their murderer to justice. You will hear in the media rumors. You will hear speculation. You will hear hearsay. What I'm asking everyone to do is to rely on trusted sources. If it doesn't come from the district attorney's office, from LAPD, from the coroner's office, or from the courtroom itself, then there's a good chance you are hearing misinformation. Because at the appropriate time, the actual evidence involved in this case will be presented in a court of law. So I ask for your patience until that is done.
Now, Vinny, the DA and LAPD declined to answer many of the comments or the questions from media today due to this being a thorough, ongoing investigation, but they did comment on some of the aspects of the investigation and the arrest of Nick Reiner itself. Take a listen to this.
He was found with good, solid police work, investigative tools used by robbery, homicide, and gang and narcotic division detectives with the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force involved as well. So we're thankful for the work that was done. I won't go into talking about what was found or anything that could potentially taint the investigation.
Specifically, he was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers, and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that there was no indication that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Any evidence, if there is any, of mental illness for his background will be coming out in the hearings that will occur. We anticipate, again, after the arraignment, the process will go through the normal process a case like this goes through. At the appropriate time, if there is evidence of mental illness, it will be presented in court and in whatever detail the defense seeks to do that.
Now, Vinny, we are still waiting on Nick Reiner's medical clearance for him to make his first court appearance, and we are still waiting on the autopsy report of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Now, the DA also did not comment on the timeline or anything specific like that regarding the murders, and he also didn't comment on where they were actually found within the Brentwood residence.
All right, Cody's going to be with us all hour. And obviously, they know a lot more than they said today, and that brings us to the first question in our investigation. What don't we know about what happened? Let's bring in our guests who are going to help us through all this. Joining us, retired homicide detective, host of the YouTube true crime show Murder Mind, Vince Velasquez is with us, and celebrity attorney Chris Melcher out there in LA. Great to see you both. All right, Vince, you're looking at this. Homicide investigators like you obviously have been on this case. What are some of the things that we don't know right now about what happened that you may suspect that they know about what happened?
Well, I think what LAPD homicide is doing right now is a full timeline. That's so important, starting with what the victims were doing from the moment they woke up that day, but more importantly, what Nick Reiner was doing from the moment he woke up that day, all the way to the party. And that's going to include the Hollywood's who's who of witness list. They're going to have to interview all those folks. Digital evidence, app activity, geofencing, where Nick Reiner was, and then the full forensic story, exactly what happened inside that house. And then lastly, motive. Like, was this substance abuse? Was it a mental health breakdown? Or could it have been something else that we just don't know about?
Yeah, Chris Melcher, from your perspective, what don't we know about what happened here that you think is going to be significant as all this plays out?
What we don't know about is, was there any planning involved? Is this something, an act of rage that happened? Was he suffering from some kind of mental disorder that prevented him from really having the capacity to form intent? This is what I imagine, is of keen interest to the defense, because if it's clear that he committed the crime, the question then is, okay, could he get out on a not guilty by reason of insanity? And I think that that's where the focus of the defense is going to be, but also the investigators are going to be looking for evidence maybe to contradict an NGI plea.
And Vince, this arrest is quick. Like, this is a fast arrest in all of this. So what does that tell you about some of the evidence that they may have found, or statements or things that they've learned?
Well, what I've read is that, these victims, the daughter actually found them and told LAPD that her brother was a prime suspect from the beginning. So they kind of knew who they were kind of looking for as a prime suspect. And through, cell phone tracing and things like that, it wouldn't be that hard to track him down. And it's interesting, like, of course, they just took him into custody. They didn't really charge him right away. But what's really interesting, I would love to, in the future, we're going to hear about what that interview was like, if he chose to talk to them and what he said to the LAPD. That could lend to motive and exactly what was going on in his state of mind. Now, if they found him in an area that was, frequented with people that use drugs, one of the things that I would have done as a detective investigating this is get a warrant and test his blood. Even though it's hours later, it still is evidence that, could shed some light on his mental state.
Yeah. And Chris, how about the events of that day? What are you most interested in and believe will reveal much more about what happened here in terms of things that happened during the course of the day?
Well, Vinny, what I would like to see is messages that Nick sent to either his parents or family members before the incident, and then any messages that he sent afterwards. To me, this is pivotal, because if he is expressing anything in these messages before the crimes were committed about planning and threats, then that would indicate that he understood what he was doing. And then messages that happened afterwards that might indicate that he understood that this was wrong. And the reason why I'm focusing on that is because if he goes with a not guilty by reason of insanity, he not only has to show that he had a mental disorder, but that he did not understand the nature and quality of the act, or that it was legally and morally wrong. So to me, it's all about these messages that may have been sent.
And Vince, for the detectives that are working the case, and this is obviously incredibly high profile, is there more pressure you feel? Does more pressure come from the folks upstairs? How does it work when you're working a case like this one?
Extreme pressure. I mean, let's just look back at the OJ case from 1994, 1995. I mean, LAPD made so many mistakes forensically. And I think, historically, they've learned that this case is going to be a media frenzy. And LAPD knows that. Anytime a detective or a department has a case like this, they have to cross those T's and dot those I's, even if it doesn't need it. It's one of those things where you go 18 extra steps that you typically may not have done because it's going to have so much scrutiny on it. I guarantee you it's going to be some high-priced, some very well-known defense attorney that's going to pick or try to pick this case apart. So LAPD, I would imagine at this point, is really taking their time. They've got a very, very robust group of seasoned detectives. And I really think that they're taking their time with this thing. They've already charged him. They've already charged Nick Reiner with the crime. So it's not who did it. Now they have to prove it. And now is the time when you really have to slow down and make sure you're doing everything correctly.
All right. Our guests are going to stick around. Coming up next, what will Nick Reiner's defense focus on?
It's with deep sadness that I address the tragic loss of Robert and Michelle Reiner. Today, the Los Angeles County District's Attorney's Office has formally filed charges against Mr. Reiner for the murder of his parents. This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city.
Yeah, there aren't many who are bigger in Hollywood or were bigger in Hollywood than Rob Reiner. I mean, the legendary movies, his career took off with a legendary role in one of the biggest sitcoms of all time. And from there, it was just bigger and bigger and bigger. And then his political activism kept him in the headlines even when he wasn't making movies. So everyone feeling it out in Hollywood. Let's get back to Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who is in L.A. tonight. In front of the courthouse. So let's talk about court. What happened in court today out there in L.A.?
Well, Vinny, nothing happened at all because that scheduled arraignment that we thought was going to happen this morning got pushed. And that's because Nick Reiner's defense attorney says that he was not medically cleared and suitable enough to be in court. Now, who is that defense attorney? None other than high-profile defense attorney, L.A.-based Alan Jackson. Of course, Alan Jackson representing Harvey Weinstein, defendants like Kevin Spacey, and for our viewers here at Court TV, Karen Reed during the Karen Reed murder trial and retrial that we aired right here on the program. And I actually saw Alan Jackson today in the courthouse looking very unassuming for a few minutes. He spoke with media outside the courthouse just after what was supposed to be that arraignment hearing. Here's the video that TMZ posted.
Every inmate has to be medically cleared before they can be transported to court. He has not been medically cleared. It's just a procedural issue.
Have you spoken to your client at all?
I'm not commenting any further than what the procedure of the court today is.
Can we expect a hearing tomorrow?
We'll be back day to day. The bailiff has indicated that the sheriff's department will take it on a day-by-day basis, and so hopefully he'll be cleared tomorrow, and we can get him in.
Now, Vinny, important to note, Alan Jackson did not specify how he became associated with the case or who exactly is paying his high-profile legal fees either.
Yeah, great point, Cody. And also a little different than what we saw in Dedham, where he's proclaiming his client's innocence on the courthouse steps. This was a little bit different. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. What will Nick Reiner's defense focus on? Where is Alan Jackson taking this case? What's it going to be about? Joining me, East Coast contributor for Los Angeles Magazine, Lauren Conlon is with us, and still with us, celebrity lawyer Chris Melcher. Chris, first question to you about the hiring. So if he was arrested and charged with murdering someone and his father was still alive, I'd be like, okay, yeah, his dad made the call, his dad is paying for it. What do you suspect? How did this happen? That he's got the highest profile criminal defense attorney in the country representing him?
Well, Vinny, it doesn't make a lot of sense because even if a trust had been established for Nick's benefit by his parents, I would imagine there would be a lot of restrictions on any distributions from that trust because of the chronic drug problems that he's had. So I don't imagine that he would have much of any money available to him. And he certainly can't inherit from his parents if he's killed them. So I got to think that Alan's involvement here very quickly, maybe based on just wanting to be attached to such a high profile case and maybe trying to work out the finances later. You know, there's some lawyers who will do that because there isn't really a clear source to be able to afford such a high power defense.
Yeah. All right, Lauren Conlon, your reaction when you heard that Karen Reed's attorney, and we remember how all that went down, ends up taking this case, and how much of a game changer do you think it is based upon Alan Jackson's history and the way he, you know, interacts with the media and how his cases end up playing out?
I thought this was huge, Vinny. I was not expecting Alan Jackson to step in. I mean, as you said, I was wondering about the payment, but I guess if he uses a credit card, I mean, it's not really on Alan if the credit card isn't paid, right? But no, I think that Alan Jackson is absolutely going to focus on police missteps. I think that he is going to pick apart every little thing that the LAPD does. And I think that, you know, as Vince said, there have been some very high profile cases like OJ that the LAPD has not done their best on. And so if you remember on Sunday when the news first broke, LAPD made sure to tell all of us that they had to wait to enter the house and search the entire house. They had to wait for the search warrant. And they also said that this search of the entire house is imperative to their investigation. So I think that, you know, of course, the mental illness may come into play. The fact that, you know, he fled the scene after he did it, that kind of tells me he might not be as crazy as we all think. There's some other reports saying that, you know, he did appear to be somewhat normal when a house guest was staying with the Reiners. Who knows? We don't know what's going on inside, you know, anyone's head. But again, back to your original question, I think Alan Jackson's just going to pick apart what the police did or didn't do and go from there.
Chris, your thoughts about the focus of the defense?
Well, I think Lauren's absolutely right and raises a great point that if he was having a mental episode and didn't understand the nature and quality of his act and didn't know if it was right or wrong, why would he leave? Why wouldn't he just stay there? So Lauren makes a great point there. I think certainly the first focus would be, hey, maybe we got the wrong guy. Nick wasn't there. How could he do this? So certainly if there's any plausible basis to deny that Nick was involved, then that's going to be the first thing the defense is going to do. However, if it looks like there's overwhelming evidence and there's no real way of getting out of that, that he did it, then the focus would be on not guilty by reason of insanity, because instead of doing life without possibility of parole or maybe even the death penalty, if it's NGI, we're talking commitment to a mental hospital.
All right, Chris Melcher, always great to have you on the program. Great to see you. Lauren Collins going to stick around. Still to come, how toxic was the atmosphere inside the home? Reiner and his wife, Michelle, son who did it. Here's the story. He spent a lifetime creating stories. Rob Reiner brought joy, laughter, and heart to screens across the world. He was a husband, a father, a beloved filmmaker whose influence spanned generations. But even the brightest life can cast dark shadows. In December of 2025 at the Reiner family home in Brentwood, Los Angeles, a heated argument spiraled into horror. By morning, Rob and his wife Michelle were gone, murdered in an act that stunned Hollywood and the world. Their son Nick has been arrested, and questions remain about what led to this unthinkable crime, what was going on in that home and in that family in the final moments before tragedy struck. So much of this story, this case, this investigation, and ultimately this trial will be about family dynamics. Let's bring in Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who's live outside L.A. Superior Court tonight. What are we hearing? Because we've been hearing a lot of talk about Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. That was that day. What are we hearing about what may have happened at that Christmas party?
Well, Vinny, there have been multiple reports of odd behavior by Nick Reiner and an argument that Nick had with his father, Rob, at this party at Conan O'Brien's Los Angeles home, where Rob's wife, Michelle, was also in attendance. Now,
I don't know. Oh, God. My mic was muted. Okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, what do you guys think about Conan O'Brien and his party? What happened there? Were all three of them there? Was the son there too? Was Reiner and his wife there? Does anybody know?
Celebrity journalist Perez Hilton joined closing arguments here on the network, talking about Nick Reiner's erratic behavior at this party.
They all went? And what happened? Do you guys know what happened?
Take a listen.
We have heard that Nick Reiner was going around acting erratically, asking people at Conan O'Brien's party, "Are you famous? Are you famous?" So one can only speculate, was he in a state of drug-induced psychosis, or was he just high, or was he unwell? We don't know. And my guess as a parent is Rob was probably just telling his son.
Look how different he looks. Look, that is him, the second dude from the left. Look, the second dude from the left, that's him. And you go back one, there's nothing, he's not there in this picture. There he is. Where is he here? Is he there? He's there. I see him there. I see him there. But I don't see him there. That's crazy. On the right? All the way on the right? That's him all the way on the right? Wow, that looks nothing like him. That looks nothing like him. Look at that. Look at the difference. Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. Wow.
No, and my guess as a parent is Rob was probably just telling his son, "You should leave. You're not well. You're embarrassing me." Maybe they blew up because of, "You're embarrassing me." A son doesn't want to hear that, if that's what happened. But I'm sure that some people at that party will now be talking to authorities just as they gather more information.
And Vinny, TMZ also reported on what happened at this party as well. They say, quote, "At the party, Rob and Nick got into a very loud argument, loud enough for many others to hear," Reiner family sources tell TMZ. We're told Rob and Michelle then left the party. We do not know if Nick left as well.
Look at him.
Our family sources add Michelle.
He actually looks good here. He looks normal here. Wow.
Had been anguishing to friends over the last few months that she and Rob were at their wits' end over Nick's mental illness and alleged substance abuse issues, and did not know what to do with their son Nick, saying, "We've tried everything." And Vinny, also NBC News reported on this behavior as well. They say, quote, "Nick Reiner is alleged to have interrupted a conversation involving comedian Bill Hader. When Hader told him the conversation was private, the sources said Nick Reiner appeared to stand still and stare before, quote, storming off. And Vinny, also NBC News reports someone there believes Rob and Michelle were embarrassed by Nick's odd behavior at this high-profile Hollywood party.
And what do we know about Nick Reiner's history?
Well, Vinny, we do know he's been very vocal about his early struggles in his early teen years with substance abuse, drug addiction, and even homelessness, again, starting as early as the age of 15. Now, Vinny, back in 2016, Rob Reiner and his son Nick Reiner did an interview for the AOL Build series, where they discussed the film Being Charlie, which Nick Reiner also co-wrote alongside his father. The film was released in 2015 and was loosely based on Nick Reiner's battle with addiction and the family dynamics surrounding recovery. Here's a piece of that interview.
I wasn't really that shy about including some of the bad stuff I did, because a lot of people do things that are pretty unsavory when they're going through that. But in terms of making it a narrative, of course, it's not my life, but it needs to be constructed into a story.
The fact that we were dealing with, things that Nick had gone through and how I had related to it and how his mother had related to it, it forced me to have to see more clearly and understand more deeply what Nick had gone through.
And Vinny, Perez Hilton also talked about the relationship between the family and what the family was up to leading up to Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Take a listen to this.
Rob openly spoke about the difficult relationship that he had with his son and regrets that he had. In fact, doing promo for that movie that his son wrote the screenplay for and that he directed, he expressed regret over listening to experts. Nick Reiner, by the time he was 19, had already spent multiple stays in rehab, and that pattern continued throughout the years. He struggled with addiction so much that there were periods of his life that he was homeless because his parents gave him tough love. Wow. Nick did not like that his parents were not coddling him. They were supporting him, but they were demanding repeatedly that he go to rehab and that they trust the experts there. So this dynamic of their son being an addict and struggle with his father is something that they both talked about publicly before. And obviously the family knows a lot more than the public does. Tracy Reiner said that prior to this now infamous party at Conan O'Brien's house, where Rob and Michelle and their son Nick were at, and they got into a fight, that the family was all together at a family gathering. So Saturday was a day for the Reiners to be together. And as of now, we, the public, can only presume what happened at that family gathering. But I just keep going back, especially to Rob's 28-year-old daughter and Michelle's 28-year-old daughter, Romy, who was the one who discovered her parents in this horrific state.
We're all gonna die soon.
She's the one who called police. And on that 911 call, she told authorities that her brother, who's 32, had been staying at home and was violent. That is, according to reports, what Romy told the 911 dispatcher, that her brother was violent.
So, Vinny, as this case and investigation continues to unfold, as we continue to learn more, it's becoming increasingly evident that Nick Reiner had quite a struggling early life that may or may not have led to this brutal behavior.
All right, Cody, we'll get back to you in a second. Really a tough position that the Reiners are in with their son. That brings us to the next question in our investigation. How toxic was the atmosphere inside the home? 32 years old, he's back living at home. Let's bring in our guest. Still with us, East Coast contributor for Los Angeles Magazine, Lauren Conlon. And joining me, celebrity psychologist, Dr. Jeffrey Gardier. Dr. Jeffrey Gardier, great to see you. It's been some time. Great to catch up.
Yes.
Let me start with you. A couple words that I heard here, quoted from the Reiners. We're at our wits' end with him. He's 32. He's back in the house. Yes, it's a big house, but it's their home. What are your thoughts about what was happening, the dynamic in there, and what impact it may have had on what happened here?
Well, with working with my patients, Vinny, I often see this. A young person struggling with mental illness, struggling with substance abuse. Because of the stigma that goes along with that, they don't stay within their treatment. And therefore, there is this push and pull with the parents. So it becomes a very toxic environment. And what we typically see is that there becomes this real divide where the parents are insisting that that young person clean up their act. The young person is having those mental health issues. It's being exacerbated by the drugs. And it turns out to be a situation of where there is constant infighting within the home. People love one another in these homes, but they just do not see eye to eye. And quite often it does end up in some sort of emotional and, in this case, perhaps physical violence.
Chloe, what's a conservative ship? You said a couple of articles said his parents were getting conservative ship in motion. What is a conservative ship?
Lauren Conlon, your thoughts about what was happening inside this sprawling mansion, which is.
Hey, Kat Reynolds, don't be a bitch. I'm almost done. 20 more minutes, man.
The home of the Reiners for the family.
Yes, Vinny, it's interesting because, as I mentioned before, there was an article that came out in the New York Post about a friend of the Reiners who was a house guest not even 2 weeks ago. And he actually said that it was a very pleasant environment. He said, Nick would eat dinner with the family. They'd be watching sports games, cheering, etc. But we all know that, again, looks can be deceiving, and the Reiners had issues, with their adult son stemming back to when he was a teenager. And going back to that.
A conservatorship is what Britney Spears' parents had under her all the time, and other. Oh, that thing. I know what you mean now. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Excuse me. Sorry.
That interview that Rob and Nick did, Rob had also said that, he possibly didn't react the right way when he found Nick on drugs when he was 15, but he did the best that he could. All parents do the best they can. And Nick himself has also admitted to being violent at times. I think a 2018 podcast interview resurfaced where he actually said that he was staying in the guest house and he had some kind of episode where he destroyed everything, including shattering a huge TV. So, it's clear things haven't been great. But again, I always say, we're not there. We don't see everything.
Yeah. Dr. Gardier, let me ask you, I'm interested in your thoughts about
buy a new TV.
How this plays out in a courtroom.
Need a TV.
We're talking about mental illness.
Yeah, I think what Alan Jackson is going to do is something very close to what Chris Melcher mentioned earlier. And that is that if it is something where they just can't get him off, Nick Reiner, from actually doing this, and he is the person, I think they're going to look at whether there is mental health and capacity issue. So does he have an organic mental illness that substance abuse was a self-medication? Or was substance abuse exacerbating an organic mental illness? Or finally, was there a longstanding addiction or withdrawal effects potentially impacting the judgment or perception when this horrific crime happened, if it was him? It's not enough for an insanity plea, I don't believe, but it's enough for mitigating circumstances to avoid a death penalty or life in prison.
Dr. Gardier, because you're with us, and there's probably many people at home who could be going through something similar, parents with a child and they don't know what to do. They're at their wits' end. If you could, I know it's only 45 seconds or so, give us some things that they should think about doing starting right now.
First and foremost, they should understand that whatever's going on with the substance abuse is most likely tied to a mental illness. So it can become very easy to just blame the victim for having all the issues in the family. But everyone in the family should take responsibility as to what is going on with this individual and the parents who are dealing with the.
What's ODD?
child with mental illness, well, they should join a support group because it's the hardest thing that one can do to try to get their child off of drugs.
Lauren Conlin.
You gotta get yourself a child, Danny. Come on. Gotta start knocking some kids out, Danny. Let's go.
Something else that Cody was talking about was this Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's, and it just seems like this becomes a big part of the investigation. I mean, if there's enough that people are already talking about having seen something in public, it seems everyone at that party is a potential witness, and these are high-end, like super A-listers that are at this party.
Oh. That's oppositional defiance disorder. Wow. I've never heard of that before. What the fuck? Holy moly. Have you guys heard of that? ODD? Oppositional defiance disorder? I've never heard of that. What case have we covered where one person had ODD? I don't know, man. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yes. Earlier today, Vinny, there was a couple photos that surfaced of Bill Hader, and he looked tense on the phone. Normally, I see these headlines and I'm like, oh, they're exaggerated. But no, Bill Hader looked very tense. And reportedly, Bill Hader had an exchange with Nick Reiner, kind of telling him that he was in the middle of this private conversation and he wanted, Nick to maybe not be there at the moment, and Nick didn't take that very well. So I think Bill Hader could possibly be, at the top of that witness list.
All right, big thank you to our guests, Lauren Conlin. Always great to have you here, Dr. Jeffrey Gardier. It really is great to see you, and thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Great to see you, old friend.
All right,
thank you.
Coming up next,
It's when you hate authority and go against it, Rich. My son's sperm donor has it. Your son's sperm donor has it? What? Your son's sperm donator. What? What do you mean your son's sperm donor has it? What are you talking about? Why did your son have a donor of sperm? That's weird. It's coming given in school, psychopathy. After 18, but Eve would know more. I don't have psychic degree. Dr. Eve is probably sleeping now. Yes, Rich? Why do you have a son? Why do you say sperm donor? Is that a word? Is that another word that's saying sex? Sperm donor. Sperm donor. Not true. Children are diagnosed with ODD. For 5 years, for 5 kids, for kids 5 years and younger, they have symptoms. For most days, it's at least 6 months long. So, children are diagnosed with ODD. For 5 years, for kids 5 years and younger, they have to have symptoms for most days for at least 6 months long. Really? Wow. I'm dead too. Yes, my son's Debbie Father Rich. So you didn't have sex with the guy? They inseminated his sperm inside you, actually, without sex? Is that what happened? This is the latest I've ever stayed up with Rich. Should be proud of me. You're a liar. Ruby for Justice, is that true? This is the latest you've been up? Well, thank you for being up with us, Ruby for Justice. How you doing, Ruby? I like your picture. Nice picture, Ruby. Hasn't been in his life since 14 months old. No. Didn't that guy get arrested? He's in jail? Holding up he held up that throat at gunpoint? You down with ODD? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, I'm down with ODD, Danny. Not really, but I'll just say yeah. Who cares? All I know is ODD kids I work with were psycho, and the school psychologist told me as much. Well, I guess ODD is serious. Oh my God, Rich, it's a term people use. It is? Actually used a turkey. Actually used a turkey base, Rich. Oh, just kidding. Lord, I can't breathe. Yeah, she made herself pregnant with a turkey baster. Oh my God. All right, let me go back to the video. Sorry.
To the crime scenes reveal.
Danny, you're crazy, Danny.
On Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments.
DNA evidence.
Oh, yeah.
And my guess is he might just plead guilty without a trial, you know?
Unbelievable. Incredible violence, and it seems like it's, according to investigators and prosecutors, it's Rob and Michelle Reiner's own son who was the one who was responsible. Let's bring back in Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas out in L.A. Let's talk about the crime scenes here. What do we know about the crime scenes?
Vinny, we know there are actually 2 crime scenes. One, of course, at the Brentwood home where the stabbings took place and where
I'm glad I make your mentals better.
Rob and his wife Michelle were found. And also, according to the New York Post, another crime scene at a Santa Monica hotel. But let's start with the home where the bodies were found. Of course, in the Brentwood neighborhood here in Los Angeles, where the bodies were found by the Reiner's daughter, Romy. The fire department alerted police once they arrived and saw the 2 bodies, which of course prompted the death investigation. Those bodies, of course, were identified as Rob and Michelle. They had severe stab wounds. The DA, of course, says a knife was used, but during that press conference, they did not specify whether they found an actual murder weapon, found the actual knife. It was also not specified where in the house that the 2 bodies were found. Now, moving on to that hotel room, Vinny, in Santa Monica, according to the New York Post, Nick Reiner checked into a Santa Monica hotel around 4 a.m. Sunday, December 14th, following the stabbings. And once police arrived, they found the hotel room with blood throughout the bathroom. They even say bed sheets were covering the window. So, Vinny, 2 very, very crucial crime scenes in this case. I'm sure a lot of evidence from both of those crime scenes will be presented in hearings to come. And
he said bed sheets were covering the windows.
Of course, if this eventually goes to trial, we'll hear a bunch of evidence from these 2 crime scenes when that day comes as well.
All right, Cody Thomas in L.A. for us. Great job tonight. Thanks so much. And that brings us to our final question of the hour, and it is, what do the crime scenes reveal, or what would you expect them to reveal? Still with me, retired homicide detective, host of the YouTube true crime show, The Murder Mind, Vince Velasquez, and also joining us, entertainment journalist Candace Cruz. All right, Vince, you've got 2 different scenes here. What would you expect to find in the home, and then what would you expect to find in the hotel that he allegedly went to afterwards?
So I've read some reports that they found blood inside the hotel. And what's interesting is a knife attack, typically, especially when it's like a intimate domestic murder, it's vicious. It's so vicious. And I wonder, did Nick Reiner actually cut himself? So the question would be, in the hotel room, is the blood the victim's blood? Is it Nick Reiner's blood if he cut himself? Is it a mixture of blood? And I would imagine LAPD is running through that hotel room with a fine-tooth comb. Inside the residence where the bodies were found, obviously, is there a murder weapon in there? And then, of course, just where are the bodies located? It's very difficult to kill 2 people and contain 2 people immediately with a knife. Typically, with a handgun, it's easier, but with a knife, sometimes one person has a chance to get away. So to incapacitate 2 people with a knife in a short period of time is very, very unusual. So I think some more information is going to be coming out about that.
Yeah, and Candace, your thoughts here. It seems like the home, the crime scene, is this sprawling mansion, and it's gonna should reveal a story here about what was happening inside this family.
Absolutely. I mean, we obviously know that there were heightened events leading up to the deaths, and so I think we have reports, and I've seen reports that they were found in bed. Obviously, those haven't been confirmed yet, and just like He just said in order to incapacitate 2 individuals in a short amount of time with a knife, it had to have been in a closed space. But with it being so sprawling, I can only imagine what Romy walked in upon trying to find her parents, especially after the massage therapist reached out to her to come and find the parents. So I think more time will tell, especially with it being such a large space, of how this really unfolded. We don't know anything more outside of the contained area of what we've seen with reports so far. So I am interested to see how this unfolds, if it was a little bit more of a fight or if it was just one of those moments like we're assuming with the bed.
Yeah, Vince, how important would the murder weapon itself be to locking this up and really, you know, putting it over the top in terms of the evidence?
Well, I mean, the murder weapon would be extremely important, especially if Rob Reiner's fingerprints are on it. Now, he has been a guest in the family home. A defense attorney is going to argue that he may have touched that knife at some point earlier, but nevertheless, that's evidence that a jury needs to hear. So that's extremely important. And the amount of blood that I would imagine to incapacitate 2 people in a small space is going to be a vicious. I think we have just scratched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the viciousness of this crime. And when the evidence comes out, it's going to be horrific. And I want to say that Lauren Conlon brought up a good point earlier, that the defense is going to attack the police procedures on this case. They're going to run a playbook straight out of the OJ case and look at this thing with a fine-tooth comb under a microscope and really, really tune in to anything, any tiny mistake that LAPD may make, and try to make them look incompetent and bring some doubt into this case.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time for tonight, but the conversation will continue. Candace Cruz, great to see you. Vince Velasquez, always a pleasure. We appreciate it. Clearly, there are a lot of layers in understanding how a son born into power, prestige, and privilege could end up accused of killing the very people who gave him everything. On its surface, it seems like a whole lot of selfishness. A child growing up with everything and expecting even more. But now we'll have to see what questions his defense raises about what happened. I'm Vinnie Politan. We'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.
Vinnie Politan. All right, well, that was fun. That was fun. I gotta go to bed soon, so I can't watch anything long. But let's see what we got here. What else I had? Rick Reiner. I haven't watched that. Did I watch that already? That's a long video. We watched it yesterday.
We're on the case presented by law.
I can't watch that now because it's getting late, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta work in the morning. What happened to Robert? Breaking. Oh, Nancy Grace. Let me see what Nancy Grace got. A 5-minute video from Nancy Grace.
So joining me now is someone who has a lot of experience in this area. It's attorney and former special prosecutor Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace,
Nancy,
baby.
You see where we are today and where we will soon be on January 7th.
Find a video on the MIT professional murder. What? Why don't you? All right, I'll look for a video. MIT professional murder. Who? When was he murdered? When was she murdered? Wild dog. When? Vinny is a hottie? I don't know about that.
It looks from this vantage point, Nancy, as though it sets up ultimately for some type of plea or some type of insanity defense, some type of mental illness-based defense. What do you think, Nancy?
Number one, voluntary use of drugs or alcohol is not a defense under the law. If that were true, every jail in LA would be emptied because everybody's drinking and doing drugs. That at least would be their defense. So the fact that he has a long history of drug and or alcohol abuse is not a mental defect. Number one. I would like to point out something that you just showed. I've been carefully studying it frame by frame, and that is Nick Reiner, the defendant. This is after he has allegedly left his parents' house covered in their blood. They were attacked in their sleep. He waited for them to be asleep, according to prosecutors, so he could stab them multiple times and slit their throats. We don't know if there are any defensive wounds yet, or were they murdered in their sleep before they could even begin to fight back. Covered in blood. Why do I know that? Because at the hotel where he checked in around 4 a.m., not too far away, the bed was covered in blood, and there was a blood trail all the way to the shower. He knew to check in under his name. He knew his name. He went in. He blacked out the window so you couldn't look in. You couldn't see him from the street, the parking lot, with sheets. Then he showered. The shower is full of his parents' blood, according to sources. He thought to pack, he thought to pack clean clothes with him, and he left. If you found your parents dead, God forbid, is that what you would do? I would call 911 and try to bring them back to life, resuscitate them. That did not happen. Why? So after he's completely clean, hair washed, the works, he then goes, thirsty, and goes over to the gas station, goes in, goes to the refrigerated area, gets a drink, and calmly waits in line. He is not insane. When he sees police approach him, before they say anything, he does this. Look, when Georgia State Patrol comes up behind me, I don't try to outrun him at 110 mph or let down the window and take out my Uzi because I haven't done anything wrong. I might slow down, tap on the brakes. That's about it. So why did he go? All that tells me he is sane. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he did. And his lawyer has already teamed up. Defense attorney's best friend. Delay, delay, delay. Here we go.
That's an incredible recitation of the facts, which, as you point out, does, I think, undercut a narrative which will be built as he stands there in a suicide prevention vest that he is mentally ill. I think you recite some facts that clearly undercut that potential story. One quick question before we go, Nancy. Does it strike you at all that Alan Jackson, a famed defense attorney with a long list of celebrity clients, is his attorney? I don't know Nick Reiner's financial situation. I don't assume he has access to any money that would have been his parents, but it does strike me that he has one of the most high-priced, high-powered attorneys immediately off the bat in this case.
Let me just say he ain't doing it for the love of the law. He is not a public defender. And my immediate thought was, who is paying for him? Cha-ching. Now, in California, there's the California Slayer rule. If you are convicted of murdering the person from whom you would inherit, you get nothing unless you're found NGBRI, not guilty by reason of insanity. Then you might get the money. It's thrown into probate. So I've got a very sneaky suspicion that Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, are paying the bill for their son's defense.
Oh my God!
Incredible!
How is that possible?
That's incredible
That's
information.
crazy.
As is no surprise from you, Nancy Grace. Thank you for being with us here today, Nancy.
Hey, can that be possible? Can the parents pay for the defense of their son, even though they were killed by him? So how can the family lawyers and money be used to pay for the lawyer for him? Let's go. That's crazy. Let me hear that again.
And that's incredible information.
And his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, are paying. They've got a very sneaky suspicion. So I've got a very sneaky suspicion that Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, are paying the bill for their son's defense.
Wow, that's crazy. Yo, that's insane.
Incredible. Incredible. I'm glad I asked you that question. That's incredible information. As is no surprise from you, Nancy Grace. Thank you for being with us here today, Nancy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Wow, that's pretty. That's crazy, man. Let me tell you. Wow.
Click here to subscribe to Fox News.
That's crazy. All right, what else I got? Let me see. Oh, MIT, here. In the MIT murder update. Here you go.
And we are also covering another developing story coming in out of Massachusetts, the Boston area here. I want to pop this up on your screen to give you a look at what we're talking about.
This is the case, Chloe. Who told me to put it? Not Chloe. Was it Chloe? Wild Dog. This is the case you were asking me about, Wild Dog?
Now, about 50 miles away from Brown University in Brookline, Massachusetts, there is this other high-profile homicide investigation that's been launched after an MIT
Thank you. Sorry for. Oh, yeah, that's all right. You're welcome.
Professor was gunned down in his own home, but the shooter still on the run.
I didn't even know this happened. Wow, when did this happen? Holy shit! An MIT professor found murder in home. Wow.
As of this morning, the Norfolk District Attorney's Office confirms Nuno Loureiro, a 47-year-old physicist and fusion scientist, was shot Monday night at his home near Boston. He was taken to a hospital where he died from his injuries. Now, the prosecutor's office says, as of last night, there are no suspects in custody, but they have labeled this a quote-unquote homicide investigation that is active. And you can see the photo of the victim right there on your screen. Loureiro joined MIT back in 2016, named last year to lead the school's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, one of the largest labs at the university, with more than 250 people working across about 7 buildings. Loureiro, who was married, grew up in central Portugal and studied in Lisbon before earning his doctorate in London. That's according to information from MIT. Now, the school's saying he was a researcher at an institute for nuclear fission before joining the university. The FBI asked whether this shooting could in any way be connected to the Brown University attack. The agency explaining, as of now, it knew of no connection between the crimes. A Boston University student who lives near the professor's apartment.
He kind of does look like Seth Rogen. I can't lie. a little bit like Seth Rogen. You're right.
And in Brookline told the Boston Globe that she heard 3 loud noises Monday night and was worried it was gunfire.
Wow.
The U.S. ambassador to Portugal expressing his condolences online, saying, quote, "It's not hyperbole to say MIT is where you go to find solutions to humanity's biggest problems.
I wonder why he was
Fusion
killed.
energy will change the course of human history," end quote. Again, this is an active homicide investigation. We will keep you updated here as we get additional information from the investigators involved. We do have to step away for a quick break here at 9:15 on the East Coast and 6:15 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow. You're watching Live Now from Fox.
Wow, that's sad, man.
Breaking news out of Brookline, an MIT professor shot and killed at his home on Gibb Street. Hello, and thank you for joining us on CBS News Boston. I'm Cheryl Fiandaca. 47-year-old Nuno Loureiro was a nuclear scientist and engineering professor. He was shot several times in the foyer of his Brookline home. Let's get out to WBZ's Penny Commit live in Brookline right now with the latest on this breaking story. Penny?
Well, Cheryl, just less than an hour ago, I spoke with the Brookline Police Department, and they tell us no one is in custody. So this shooter, it seems likely, is still out there. Neighbors, understandably, very shaken up by this. They tell us that the 47-year-old MIT professor lived in this building right here. He lived on the first floor, they tell us, in that corner apartment building. Here's what else they had to say.
At about 9 o'clock, I heard 3 loud bangs. I thought at first it was somebody in our apartment kicking in the door or something. So I called the neighbors and they said no, they thought it was gunshots. And so we came out and the police had already arrived and they took him away. We didn't even know who it was or what had happened.
They've identified the victim now as Nuno.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What do you know
That's
about
terrible.
Nuno?
He's a neighbor and a good neighbor, quiet. They've been living here for quite a while. Next door, and nice folks.
He's from Portugal. Yeah. He's from Portugal.
He lives right next door?
Yeah, they live right here on the first floor.
Nuno's an MIT professor?
That's what I understand, yeah.
Nuclear scientist?
Is he?
Yeah, that's what it says on the website.
Oh, man.
What do you think about this taking place, sir? Right next to you. Brookline's not known for crimes like this.
Yeah, I think that it's really a surprise. And a shooting in a state where it's so hard to even have a gun? I hope they find out what it was all about, and whoever did it is apprehended.
Was there a car parked the wrong way out here? Did you notice?
Well, I didn't see it, but other people saw it. It was parked right about here, apparently, and it was parked in the wrong direction, and it seemed to be waiting. So I don't know.
This is before the shooting?
I'm not exactly sure of what the story is. The police were very thorough. They came by and interviewed everybody a couple of times.
It's unnerving, isn't it?
You bet.
What's your
Did
name?
you see anything in the lobby? We heard reports of like shell casings in the lobby. Did you see anything like that?
Well, that's what the kind of thing they show on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose the police have done investigating, and they've started to put together whatever it is, a scenario or whatever they do of what happened. Certainly, they haven't mentioned anything to us. So,
Can you tell me one more time where he lived?
First floor.
And Cheryl, while we were hearing from those neighbors, we saw investigators wearing gloves and carrying what looks like thin bags of evidence coming from behind the apartment building here. We've also seen officers this morning going door to door, and last night neighbors tell us that they swarmed the area.
Thanks, Penny. It sounds like with those neighbors, it's a lot of concern there. Tell us a little bit about, that street and that neighborhood.
They're certainly concerned. This is Brookline. It's North Brookline. This is typically a very safe area. Things like this do not happen in this area of town, and they're really mourning this loss. A lot of people telling us they didn't know the victim personally, but knew of him, that he had a family. Actually, a woman on this house over here posted a sign to her door asking that all neighbors at around 7 o'clock tonight put a candle in their window facing Gibbs Street here to honor this MIT professor. So very melancholic attitude here. And again, just very surprising. People telling us they did not expect to see those police officers last night.
I know it sounds like a really scary situation, and he was an MIT professor. What do we know about his work?
So his name is Nuno Loureira. We know that he worked with the physics and fusion department. He was 47 years old. Reports say that he's been with MIT since 2016 and just recently became the director of that new MIT department, where he oversaw a bunch of researchers, a large staff. So very important to the university, it appears. And again, has been here for quite a while. His nationality, he is Portuguese. He's originally from Portugal. But again, reports show that he's worked here and at least in Cambridge since 2016.
Thanks very much, Penny. I know you'll keep us updated with new information as soon as you get it. Moments ago, MIT released this statement: "Our deepest sympathies are with his family, students, colleagues, and all those who are grieving. Focused outreach and conversations are taking place within our community to offer care and support for those who knew Professor Loureiro, and a message will be shared within our wider community." We want to give you some context on exactly where this happened. The shooting was on Gibbs Street in Brookline. It's a residential neighborhood, as you heard Penny talk about, a few blocks away from Comm Ave and Brighton Ave. The news is streaming 24/7 on WBZ and CBS News Boston. We'll have more news right after this break.
Wow. All right, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on here, man. A lot of things are happening. Hot car, dad's disturbing autopsy report revealed. Oh my God. Another autopsy report here. There's so many things happening. I wonder what happened I wonder why this MIT professor was killed. Did they say anything about why he was killed? Did they know why he was killed? Like, I don't know. Probably not. That's crazy. It's the plasma that's odd. That is odd. I don't know, man. But I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to work in the morning, guys. I may be back tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll be back on Friday night. Because I don't know. I gotta see. I enjoy watching these videos and discussing all the crimes that are happening. So I probably will. I most likely will stream tomorrow night because, with the Rob Reiner situation. And we gotta watch that other case with the I think he's being sentenced. John Walsh, that guy, what's his name? Was it John Walsh? John was his first name, John Walsh. The one who killed his wife, Anna Walsh. I want to see that. I want to see those closing arguments and the speeches from the family members and stuff like that. That wasn't today, was it? Was that today? It wasn't today, right? The Walsh is tomorrow, right? Let me see. Where's the Walsh? Walsh. Where's the Walsh? Major update from police on Brown University shooting suspect. Major update. Hidden street teen cruise ship death revealed. What? Hidden secrets of teens cruise ship death revealed. We gotta watch it. We gotta watch this tomorrow.
And tells the district that she would like to take the children.
We'll watch this tomorrow.
Petition those cases not consent. There was no consent.
The most explosive details in the Anna Kepner cruise ship death haven't come from the FBI. They've come from sworn testimony inside a Florida family courtroom.
Oh, we'll watch it tomorrow. We'll watch that tomorrow. What's this called?
What's your problem?
Buddy!
Just a completely normal.
Look. I'll share this video before I go to bed. When your mother of 27 years gets new child.
What's your problem?
Buddy!
Just a completely normal apple. It doesn't have 17 pills shoved inside of it. No, it doesn't. Just a completely 100%. Yes. Yummy apple.
Come here. Come here.
No.
Hey, whoa!
The hell? Oh my God. Horse is sleeping. All right, that was that. All right, that was videos. All right, I guess there's no videos here. Watch terrifying moment to crash the journey. When did this happen? What the fuck? When did that happen? Shocking footage captured the moment of an out-of-control private plane plunged Jordan to the ground, killing 10 people on board, including 3 young children. Oh my, that just happened the other day? Oh my God, I never heard about this. Guys, have you heard about the plane crash? 10 people. Look. Wow. 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 Wow.
Pues estamos aquí en San Pedro Tototepec.
Wow. I gotta go to bed. I can't take it no more. Unbelievable.
Una avioneta literal, me imagino que quiso aterrizar
Where
aquí
did this
en el
happen?
campo.
Where was this?
Y no alcanzó y cayó. No sé si cayó ahí y llegó hasta allá, no creo. Yo imagino que.
Mexico. That happened on a ferry. In a ferry crash near Mexico's Toluca Airport. Near Toluca Airport, killing all 10 people on board. Wow.
O a lo mejor sí, es que no se ve ni siquiera, no tengo ni idea, pero fue un avionazo. San Pedro Totoltepec, no han llegado bomberos, sigue haciendo explosión. Está cabrón, un mar de gente.
2:17 a.m. I gotta go. Wow, that's sad, man.
Verificaciones están allá que son.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's sad. Crashed right in there. Look, look. It just crashed out of nowhere. It just went down. Man, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Sorry, rest in peace. That's sad. I'm going to bed. Guys, I'm going to go to bed. Whatever. We'll save everything else for tomorrow. Wow. Good night, Sean. Good night, Chloe. Good night, Kat Rendell. Thanks for hanging out longer. Rich, what was the poll? Oh, yeah, let me do the poll. Thank you. I'm ending the poll, guys. Here we go. You ready? Here he comes. Do you think that he will plead guilty or not guilty for murdering his parents? 56% say not guilty. 44% say guilty out of 34 votes. So most of the people here will say he'll plead not guilty. Okay. Sounds good. I almost forgot about it. Thank you, Kat Randall. That's enough mayhem for one day. Sleep well. Yeah, exactly, Chloe. Sleep well to you too. You can't remember what you voted? Oh my God. Good night, Jennifer Gilly. Good night, Ray. Good night. The poll is up. Yeah, it's up. I just gave you the results. I just gave you the results of the poll. Everybody, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. To be continued. Everything you see here, to be continued. I was looking. Did that happen yet? That happens. When does anybody know when the when is it happening? The situation with the situation with what do you call it? Jack Walsh. Anna Walsh? Let me see. Is that tomorrow? Anna Walsh case. When's Anna Walsh? I gotta watch that tomorrow. I gotta do that tomorrow too. Live. All right, so tomorrow. It's tomorrow, guys. Brian Walsh sentencing is tomorrow. We'll watch that tomorrow night, guys. Probably like an hour long. It won't be that long. It'll be like an hour long, most likely. Tomorrow, guys. The sentencing for Brian Walsh is going in. He's going to jail. Life sentence. Anyway, all right, guys. Good night. I love you guys, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time here, guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your support, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Happy holidays. Let's go. Look, I even bought a new coffee cup. Look, you like my coffee cup? The Grinch. Isn't that cool? You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Oh, so mean. You're impossible to deal with. You're impossible to deal with, Mr. Grinch. Mr. Grinch. Bye.
Of a dump truck now.
So Brian.
Let me have you, Brian.
What did you do?
On crime,
You're living it every night, aren't you, boy? Turn yourself in, Brian. Once in your life, be a man.
Be a man, Brian. Be a man, bitch. He's dead. Damn. You like him going? Whoa!
She was just watching. Remember, she wasn't doing that. I was just saying she was talking. Got it. But she was mainly watching pop.
Yeah. All right, guys. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Run that shit. Bye.
She was young. She was beautiful.
Happy Thursday.
She was chasing her dreams.
Let's go.
She was excited. She was hopeful. She was in love. She wanted a partner. She wanted support. She wanted to be cherished. She trusted him. She was anxious. She was overwhelmed. She took responsibility. She was scared. She was manipulated. She was abused. She didn't deserve this ending. She didn't deserve the abuse. I will say her name. I will share her story. I will spread awareness. And I will use my voice because hers was silenced. Her life was stolen, but her legacy will live.
Yelling at the sky, screaming at the world. Baby, why'd you go away? I'm still your girl. Holding on too tight, head up in the clouds. Heaven only knows where you are now. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Never got the chance to say your last goodbye. I gotta move on, but it hurts to try. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Her blonde hair fell around her like a halo. She was an upstate New York angel without wings. Her smile shone brighter than a morning sunrise. Her laughter put the the songbird's voice to shame. When you see a butterfly over a weeping willow tree, or a rainbow, or a wildflower on a grassy mountain peak, she's home with Mother Nature, yes she is. In the heaven on this earth, that's where she lives. That's where she lives, that's where she lives, that's where she lives, that's where she lives.
Guys, for me, it's how nice you are for me. Oh my gosh, it's how much you make me laugh. It's how hard you always laugh for me. Okay, wait, go. It's, you're really cringe.